देश की मातृशक्ति को धुएं की जिंदगी से आजादी दी, उज्ज्वला योजना लेकर आए। लखपति दीदी के तहत 3 करोड़ से ज्यादा हमारी माताओं और बहनों को आर्थिक सुरक्षा दी। और आप जानते हैं कि 3 करोड़ और का लक्ष्य रखा गया है। SGH यानी सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप मूवमेंट में रेवोल्यूशनाइज करने।
All right, taking a short break, viewers. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Much more coming right up. We are live and breaking. The big story is the flash flood sweeping through Nepal's Rusawa, damaging markets, property, vehicles, and hydropower projects. This is the developing story. We're getting you more updates.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
ايش عملتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي. ايوه باغنا كده.
واحد يقول لك تاني يا اولاد الشمس.
رموا 4 صواريخ، وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانا ونازحين للاسف كلهم اتدمروا. للاسف الحين هم بلا مأوى. هم الوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني، او كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بامان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا. بدنا نحس. هاي بيت شايفين كيف؟ هاي هذا البيت تدمر واحنا واقفين وبنتكلم بسبب القصف اللي كان قبل شويه.
A first-year BTech student died by suicide after jumping from the 15th floor of the hostel in Rajasthan. Upon receiving the information, the police immediately rushed to the scene and sent the body to the NIMS hospital mortuary. The reason behind the suicide is not yet ascertained. A major accident took place at the Pagadi culvert in Rajasthan amid strong water currents. A vehicle carrying A machine was swept away by the powerful flow of water while crossing the culvert. The driver sustained injuries in the accident and was taken to Tonk for further treatment. Around half a dozen elephants were swept away by strong water currents due to the rising water level in the Ghagra River. The elephants, which had emerged from the forest, were swept away by the strong currents. Locals later managed to guide the elephants back towards the forest using traditional herding methods. And viewers, a short break now, but do not go anywhere. Big Operation Sindoor revelation. The former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking the Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan. Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath, there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen, it is hitting the
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha, and it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Big Op Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered as an attack on either. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former CDS Chauhan clarifies that unless Mecca Pact explicitly states that it is not against India, it must be assumed that it is against India. And a shocking video where a government fire truck being used to wash a BJP MLA Ramnivas Shah's private vehicle at his residence, raising serious questions over government resources misuse. And flash floods in Nepal. Flash floods sweeps through Nepal's Rasua damaging markets and hydropower projects and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. The biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. All right, viewers, let's begin this bulletin with a big breaking news development because we're tracking the flash floods, the floods in Nepal. And we're getting a breaking news development in this regard, where flash floods have hit energy projects across Nepal. And according to preliminary information, a total of 15 hydropower and even solar projects have been affected because of the flash floods, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the situation right now in Nepal. And 10 operational and 5 under construction hydropower projects have been affected because of the Nepal floods. And as per the Independent Power Producers Association Nepal, electricity generation from operational hydropower projects with a combined capacity of 359 megawatts has been hit. Physical infrastructure of projects under construction with a total capacity of 314 megawatts has also suffered a significant damage. So this is a big blow to the power generation capability, power generation capacity also. All right, we have these exclusive videos that we have curated for you, and these are flash floods in Nepal. And the first video where you can see the river banks are submerged, and even the buildings are collapsing because of the flash floods in Nepal. And these are the videos coming in from the flood-hit Rasuwa. Let's go across to video number 2, and there you will be able to see the sudden surge in water flow. It happened suddenly. It's a flash flood which struck Nepal's Rasuwa, and the impact was around 100 to 150 kilometers. Several villages were swept away. River banks were inundated. And you can see the river banks were submerged in this video. Complete devastation, visuals of the aftermath also. And this is the video of the destruction in Nepal, the flash floods in Nepal. Visuals on your television screen. This is video number 3. This is video number 4. Let's stay with this video because you can clearly see that the trucks, that is the vehicles, are being swept away by the flash floods, and also the debris, the kind of mud, water, and sand, gravel, pebble, boulder mix. You can see it flowing in that river. It's no longer a river, and that's the situation right now. You can see complete devastation and the accumulation of debris, and because of the sudden floods in Nepal, sudden surge, and then you can see trucks swept away by the debris. Let's go across to this video. This is the level of destruction, unimaginable, never seen before, and you can see the visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. This is the video, horrifying video, scary video, which explains the destruction, and people had no time to move out in most cases. We hope the casualty figures do not increase in the coming time, in the coming days, in the coming hours, but this is the visual, the scary visuals of the building collapsing. We have another video for you, and you can see in this video, these are the cars being swept away like toys in that river in Rasuwa in Nepal. Never seen before kind of devastation in Nepal. Just imagine if somebody's stuck in that flash floods. He won't get any time to escape. He won't get any chance to move away. All right, viewers, we have another video that has surfaced, and this is one among the many hydropower projects which were damaged. The numbers now are coming up to around 15 power projects which are damaged, 10 power projects which are fully functional, and 5 which are under construction, which were struck by the flash floods. And this is the level of destruction. You can clearly see the infrastructure, the boundary walls of this critical power generation plants, the power project plants, which were in in Nepal, in Rasuwa, it's being damaged because of the sudden flash floods, because of the debris and the mud and the debris. And you can imagine there are pebbles, there are boulders, there are rocks, and along with the water, we have the debris which is also flowing, and that's exactly why the destruction is huge. All right, let's go across to a guest who is joining us, our esteemed guest, Dr. Dharma Upreti, who's Executive Director, National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority in Nepal. We'll go across to Dr. Dharma Upreti, who's the Executive Director, National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority in Nepal. So we're getting these visuals which are really scary, horrific visuals. You can understand the kind of devastation this has caused, especially the border areas have been severely impacted, and we are still waiting for the number of casualties. We hope it doesn't increase, but sir, your initial assessment of what happened.
Yeah, actually, this is the impact of avalanche blocked dam outburst flood. Based on our earlier assessment, so the avalanche induced damming outburst suddenly, and the flood came into Nepal side from the Tibetan river. So as you mentioned, there are a number of damages and losses are coming up. So we have already mobilized our state mechanisms, police, military, and paramilitary in the area, and volunteers are mobilized, helicopters are mobilized, drones are mobilized to assess the situation. So it's really devastating, and we are very saddened to see the situation, and we are observing, monitoring, and then it might be possible to come the same maybe next, but we are observing, and flood forecast division of the authority has already issued number of SMS alert to the risk communities, to the downstream. Yeah. So we are assessing, and the meeting of disaster council set and discuss, and we have dispersed both monetary and non-monetary items to the affected area through district disaster management committee. So yeah, we are looking at it very seriously. And I'm quite busy, so I'm not sure I can take your next question. So we'll be in touch.
Yeah, also, sir, if you can put this into perspective, because we are getting to know that majority of the power generation projects, that is hydropower projects, have severely been impacted because of the flash floods. Yes, yes. How is this going to impact? Damage. Yeah. Please go on.
Yeah, it's damage, huge damage, but we don't know what amount, and we are assessing the situation. We'll come back maybe in next couple of days, exact the damage, losses, and damages because of this avalanche dam outburst flood. So we'll come back to you in a few days of the whole.
So any number on the casualties, if you can share with us, any assessment or any numbers?
No casualties actually confirmed, but we hear number of casualties are there, but it's not confirmed yet. So far people are missing, and it might be they are moving somewhere in a safer area, but we don't have any confirmed casualties so far.
All right. Dr. Dharma, thanks a lot for joining and for explaining what actually happened. And our prayers are with the people of Nepal. We hope the number of casualties doesn't increase in this regards. But these are very scary visuals which are coming in from Nepal. Trucks being swept away, cars being swept away, buildings being swept away, villages being swept away because of this sudden surge in water flow, flash floods in Nepal. All right, viewers, now let's move on to another top story that we are tracking, a big breaking news development that is coming in from Moscow. This is the US CIA Director John Ratcliffe was on board the US Air Force C-17A Globemaster that landed early Tuesday at Moscow's Vnukovo Airport, pointing to a carefully planned and sensitive mission. Now, he landed in Moscow in order to attend several high-level meetings with the officials, and that needs to be questioned and investigated. What exactly is the reason of the meeting? CIA or the White House has not commented on the aircraft. Not just that, Russian President Vladimir Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov declined to comment on the matter. He told journalists earlier in the day, previously also earlier in the day, about this sudden meeting, and CIA or White House has not commented on this aircraft, and Russian President Vladimir Putin's spokesman, that is Dmitry Peskov, declined to comment on the matter. He told journalists earlier in the day that he had no information regarding the plane that touched down around 10 a.m. Moscow said no meetings between the Kremlin and any representatives of the Trump administration were planned this week, and the CIA director spent about 4 hours in Moscow before leaving. So there's something fishy, something is happening. They might not admit it, and this is a secret trip of the CIA director. So this is very. It happened all of a sudden. It was planned suddenly. It's an exclusive story that you're seeing on your television screen, because this needs to be investigated. We have first on visuals on your television screen of the plane on which the CIA was traveling to Moscow, and this meeting happened all of a sudden, and no information has been shared by either US or even Russia. All right, let's move on to another top story that we are tracking. A government-fired truck turns into a car washer in Singrauli, and now video of an MLA's vehicle being cleaned using the fire truck's water goes viral on social media. A video raising questions about the use of government machinery is going viral on social media from Singrauli, Madhya Pradesh. Now, in the video, a private car belonging to BJP MLA Ramnivas Shah is being seen washed with a fire truck's hose, and outside his official residence openly. And the video was recorded, and now the video is viral. The fire department personnel themselves are seen washing the vehicle, and the emergence of this video has sparked a debate regarding the alleged misuse of government resources. And this incident took place on Tuesday. The viral video shows a fire truck parked outside MLA Ramnivas Shah's official residence, with the fire department personnel washing the private car, using a hose. Now, 3 employees are seen spraying water on the vehicle. The car is reported to be the private vehicle of BJP MLA Ramnivas Shah. Let's listen into the reaction of the MLA in this regards.
आप लोगों ने बताया, वीडियो हमने भी देखा, हमने भी जाना, कोई विधायक सांसद मालिक अपने हाथ की गाड़ी कोई धोता नहीं। अमूमन जो ड्राइवर ने बताया कि वो गाड़ी नगर निगम महापौर अध्यक्ष के घर में पंप खराब था तो पानी भरने आई थी, संयोग से खड़ी थी तो थोड़ा सा पानी मार दिया, तो ड्राइवर को डांटा कि ये सब काम नहीं किया करना चाहिए, बस इतना ही।
लोग कह रहे हैं कि ये आग बुझाने वाली गाड़ी जो फायर ब्रिगेड है उसका उपयोग विधायक अपने निजी काम के लिए कर रहे हैं।
जो कह रहे हैं वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा जानते हैं, उनके बारे में मैं ज़्यादा बात नहीं करता।
All right, so these are the visuals, and this MLA is also defending the action, and is passing the buck to the driver, and the driver is to be blamed as per the MLA in this case. And this is VVIP culture that needs to be highlighted, and firefighting VVIP racism. That's the story, because in Singrauli MP you can see these visuals, and you can just imagine this is very important to highlight that the fire truck is for controlling flames, for dousing fire, and this is being used to wash cars, and this sends a very wrong message to the citizens of the country that this is the kind of behavior that needs to be completely avoided, and there needs to be some sort of discipline on the way these personnel are behaving in this regard. So they're using the fire tender to wash an MLA's car. Totally uncalled for, totally unacceptable, and this is the complete misuse of government resources, critical, very important government resource, which is very important in case there is a fire incident. The truck should have been used there, and this might even cause delay. All right, let's go across to Satya Vijay for more details into the story. Satya Vijay, जिस तरीके से क्या इसको किस तरीके से बयां किया जाए वो समझ में नहीं आता, क्योंकि संसाधन है सरकार के हैं, उनकी उपयोगिता जो है वो इस मामले में है कि कहीं आग लगे तो बुझाया जाए, और इनमें तो सेकंड्स का मामला होता है कि इनको भागना होता है, तुरंत वहां पर पहुंचना होता है। ये क्या वहां पर ये गाड़ी खड़ी हुई थी और कैसे इसका इस्तेमाल कर लिया गया, और नेताजी ने क्या इस पे बयान दिया डिफेंड करते हुए कि भाई नहीं मेरी गलती नहीं है?
देखिए, सिंगरौली से पहली बार के भाजपा विधायक हैं रामनिवास शाह, और इनका कहना चाहिए जिस तरह का रुख यहाँ देखने को मिला है कि वो फायर ब्रिगेड की गाड़ी से अपना वाहन धुलवा रहे हैं, तो ये सत्ता का घमंड भी है, ये सरकारी मशीनरीज का जो है दुरुपयोग भी है, क्योंकि जनता के टैक्स के पैसे से इस तरह की सुविधाएं जो हैं लोगों की जान बचाने के लिए फायर ब्रिगेड जैसी सुविधा होती है। ऐसे में आप सोचिए कि अचानक कहीं आग लगती है और ये फायर ब्रिगेड जो कि विधायक की गाड़ी धो रही है और उसका पानी उसमें खत्म हो जाता है, तो ऐसे में आग कैसे बुझाई जाती है। और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि इस पर कांग्रेस तो हमलावर है, बीजेपी की तरफ से बहुत स्पष्ट अभी रुख किसी का साफ नहीं हुआ है। मैं बीजेपी दफ्तर में ही मौजूद हूं और कोशिश मेरी रहेगी कि प्रदेश सदस्य से पूछा जाए कि वो अपने इस तरह के बेलगाम विधायकों पर किस तरह की कार्रवाई करेंगे, और इसीलिए मैं बीजेपी में हूं। हालांकि इस मामले में जो रामनिवास शाह है उनकी सफाई कहें या एक तंज कसने वाला स्टेटमेंट सामने आया। पहले तो उन्होंने कहा कि सांसद विधायक तो गाड़ी धोते नहीं है, ड्राइवर की गलती है, मैंने उसको फटकार लगाई है। लेकिन जब उनसे ये सवाल किया गया कि भाई गाड़ी जो है वो इस तरह से जो फायर ब्रिगेड जो होती है उसका काम आग बुझाने का, ये सवाल उठ रहे हैं, तो आप अपनी वाहन कैसे धुलवा सकते हैं? तो इस पर वो ये कहते नजर आए कि जो ये कह रहे हैं वो कुछ ज्यादा समझदार होंगे, इस तरह का वो तंज कस रहे हैं। मतलब साफ है कि उन्हें अपनी गलती का बिल्कुल एहसास नहीं है, मलाल नहीं है। अब देखना यह है कि बीजेपी जो कि खुद को डिसिप्लिन वाली पार्टी कहती है, प्रदेश अध्यक्ष क्या ऐसे विधायक को तलब करेंगे? क्योंकि सरकारी मशीनरी का पूरी तरह से ये दुरुपयोग है। फायर ब्रिगेड की ये गाड़ी थी, नगर निगम के अंतर्गत वो फायर ब्रिगेड आती है और इसका काम होता है प्रदेश में कहीं भी इमरजेंसी हो या आग की घटना हो, आगजनी की घटना हो, तो वहां जाकर आग बुझाना। विधायक को अगर अपनी गाड़ी साफ भी करानी थी तो उनको बाकायदा तनख्वाह मिलती है, पेमेंट मिलती है, उससे सर्विस सेंटर पर जाके कराते, लेकिन ऐसा उन्होंने नहीं किया। तो ये सत्ता का घमंड ही है कि पहली बार के विधायक सरकारी सिस्टम को भी अपना समझ रहे हैं, अपना निजी वाहन धुलवा रहे हैं और इस पर सफाई के तौर पर तंज कस रहे हैं या टालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। ये कह रहे हैं कि विधायक सांसद खुद तो गाड़ी धोते नहीं है, ड्राइवर को ऐसा नहीं करना था, बचने की कोशिश कुल मिलाकर करते नजर आ रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल सत्य विजय, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया पूरी जानकारी हमारे साथ साझा करने के लिए। एंड द विजुअल्स एज यू कैन सी लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन क्लियरली अंडरस्टैंड द काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन देयर इज एंड इट्स कंप्लीटली डिसरिगार्ड टुवर्ड्स the sentiments of the public also, the way they are misbehaving, the kind of behavior is completely uncalled for. All right, viewers, now let's move to another big story that we are tracking. This is the New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, known for his anti-Hindu stand. He said that he does not support the upcoming planned event at Madison Square Garden, where Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh Chief, that is the Sarsanchalak, Mohan Bhagwat, is scheduled to address members of the Indian diaspora on August 29, 2026. He said that the city may, however, not have jurisdiction to cancel the private event scheduled for the August 29th. And also the RSS chief, Mohan Bhagwat, arrived in the US earlier in the day as part of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh's centenary. And clearly, many people are rattled because of this visit. This is the centenary year global outreach program. During his stay in New York, he would participate in the Universal Oneness program. And this is the message of India to the world, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And he will be addressing a gathering of around 5,000 people at the iconic Madison Square Garden on Saturday. So this is completely not on religious lines or anything of that sort, but the same lobby gets rattled once again. We must remember this is the same Mamdani who had opposed the Ram Mandir. Let's listen into Mamdani.
You know, I also stand here as the first Indian American mayor in our city's history. And my mother's family is all still in India. And the vision of India that I was taught by my family and the one that I grew up being very familiar with was of a pluralistic society, of a secular republic that believed in the belonging of each and every person who was from India. And it has been incredibly troubling to see the rise of a movement that is predicated on an exclusionary vision of any country, frankly. And so it is one that I find myself in deep opposition to, not only as an Indian American, but also as the mayor of a city that believes deeply in the belonging of each and every person, no matter their color, their creed, their religion, their faith, wherever they're from.
Should the rally be canceled, though, at MSG this weekend?
I don't support the rally, but I don't know if the city has any jurisdiction on canceling a private event. You know, I also stand here as the first Indian American mayor in our city's history, and my mother's family is all still in India. And the vision of India that I was taught by my family, and the one that I grew up being very familiar with, was of a pluralistic society, of a secular republic that believed in the belonging of each and every person.
All right, viewers, so that was the exclusive statement of the controversial New York mayor. We'll get you more details on this story and a lot more, but now it's time to slip into a short commercial break. But don't go anywhere. Coming up next, more details, because this is the big Op Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे वो जो पेंट्स रंग बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे रंग 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 बना रहे वो जो पेंट्स रंग बना रहे
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
ايش عمل بي ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
ايوه بعض كده
رموا 4 صواريخ، وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانة ونازحين للأسف كلهم اتدمروا. للأسف العين هم بلا مأوى. هم هالوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني، أو كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بأمان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا.
All right, viewers, coming up after the break, the biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, healthy every day.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level.
A very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. This is Shivam Dutt Mehta, and the top focus story today is the devastating flash floods in Nepal, which have caused huge destruction. Cars swept away, power projects swept away, buildings collapsing, and entire villages have been swept away because of the sudden surge of water flow because of the flash floods in Nepal. We'll get you all the details on this story and a lot more, but first up, let's have a look at the top headlines.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha, and it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Big Op Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered as an attack on either. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former CDS Chauhan clarifies that unless Mecca Pact explicitly states that it is not against India, it must be assumed that it is against India. Government fire truck being used to wash BJP MLA Ramnivas Shah's private vehicle at his residence raises serious questions over government resources misuse. Flash flood sweeps through Nepal's Rasuwa, damaging markets and hydropower projects and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. And the biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail, Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. The following is sudden flash flood in Nepal's Vesuva. Now, the Sashastra Seema Bal has issued an alert across its formations along the Indo-Nepal border, with 11 rescue and relief teams activated for immediate response and 7 more kept on standby. The SSB personnel are prepared to assist state governments and local administrations in rescue and relief operations as authorities monitor rising water levels in the Koshi and Narayani river basins and the threat of flash floods in smaller rivers. Now, vulnerable areas along the Ghagra, Karnali and Mahakali river systems in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand are also being closely monitored, while SSB battalions have been directed to maintain the situation and maintain coordination with the civil administration. And these are the visuals coming in from Nepal. You can see the river banks inundated, the river banks submerged and buildings collapsing, and the cars being swept away, entire villages being swept away and being submerged in water. And these are the hydropower projects, the power projects which were swept away, damaged, destroyed completely in many places. And also the rescue operations are happening right now. These are the one among the many videos that we have for you. Number 1 video where river banks have submerged, buildings are collapsing on your television screen, and this happened at the border region between Nepal and Tibet. Now, second is the sudden surge in the water flow. Let's stay on this video. Let's see the video. As you can see, there's a sudden surge in the water flow all of a sudden, and you'll also be able to see a vehicle trying to move away from that location, escape that sudden surge in water flow, and there was very less time available for the vehicle. You can see clearly the small vehicle that is visible in that video is actually a big truck that moves out of that sudden flash floods because it's very close, and also the road will also be swept away. All right, let's go across to an esteemed guest who is joining us from Nepal. Thank you for joining Mr. Dinesh Tripathi, who's joining us from Kathmandu, Nepal. He's a senior advocate from Supreme Court of Nepal. First of all, sir, we completely understand the kind of situation Nepal is in right now and the kind of devastation, the visuals of which are really horrifying. The casualties the numbers might increase, but we pray it does not. But if, according to your assessment, what kind of damage has been done because of this sudden flash floods in that border region, Mr. Tripathi?
There is a massive destruction of property. There is a massive damage of infrastructure. There is a hydro project also. There is a markets. That market has been damaged. Buildings has been demolished, and roads has been severely damaged, and even the traffic is now stopped because of that. The bridges has been broken. Several bridges have been broken. Police station has been swept away. They have been submerged, and there is a large number of people are still. They have been stranded over there. The tourists who are in the there, the tourists they have been also stranded, and it's a huge loss of lives and property in Vesuva district, and there is unprecedented things happen in Nepal. It was never imagined. It all of a sudden it happened this morning, and it was not imagined that this kind of things will happen. And I think this is the first time. Is this kind in the history of Nepal, and now the bridges has been collapsed. That's why there is it's difficult to reach out there, and it is difficult to have a rescue operation. Became so difficult, and even it is also difficult where to land helicopters. And since 28 police has been out of contact, and there is 8 death has been confirmed. Already been confirmed 8 death, and 28 even the police person they have been out of contact.
Mr. Tripathi, you're telling us, because we were also getting reports Because a journalist also joined us from Nepal a short while ago when this incident happened, that many army camps were also impacted because of this, severely impacted, and many soldiers are also missing after the sudden flash floods which happened in that location in Nepal. You're telling us that even police stations have been swept away, so the number of casualties might rise.
Yeah, exactly. 28 police has been in the army camps, has been also submerged.
Okay,
and
even the army camp.
The bridges has been swept away. They have been wiped out. Bridges has been, the market has been wiped out. Huge buildings, a huge number of buildings. There have been the hotels, buildings, infrastructure. So there is a massive, casualty is there, massive, damage of property. And at this point, it's even hard to launch a rescue operation because there is a difficult to reach out there because bridges has been swept away. So even the highways has been swept away. So it has been damaged. And there is a massive landslide also. So road has been blocked also. And there is a nearby markets. It has been all, even there is a big market called Sapru Besi. There was and Dhunche and Bidur, they all affected. These are hugely populated markets are there. There are hydropower projects also. They have been also heavily damaged. So at this point, it's very hard to calculate actual damage which is done because even there is a communication gap as well. Because it's hard to get a real picture also here. Because the police person, the army person who are in the ground, they're supposed to give exact information, but they themselves need assistance. They have to also how to save their life, and large number of police station has been also damaged. So it's very difficult there, and it was never imagined this kind of situation before in Nepal. It happens all of a sudden. So it's really, and even it's also, affected nearby district as well, Dhading district as well. The couple of bridges have been also destroyed. I think that it will also affect, because the massive flood, it will also affect in the Tarai region also, because there is a rise of the river levels, and so there is even the passage of river has been also blocked by the the buildings and like that, because the buildings it is in the river, so the passage of water has been also blocked. So it will cause more damage over there.
I completely understand, and
you can imagine.
Because this completely understand, it's not just water, it's a mix of mud, debris, pebbles, boulders, cars, trees, and entire villages being swept away, the debris of the damaged buildings also. But it will take a very long time. And how difficult is the situation on ground? Because I'm getting to know that even the helipads have been swept away, and that is why it is getting difficult for the helicopters to land in Timur. Especially for conducting the rescue operations. And looking at the scale of devastation, it is going to take a very long time. And at certain point, at places, it's a challenge for the authorities that where should we start from?
Exactly, that's very true, because the road has been totally blocked, bridges has been swept away, so you cannot reach through the roads by the road. So, and there is no place to land helicopters, and there is no airport at all, because that's the region, that's the area, there is not even a single airport, not even the emergency airport. So only thing is the helicopter, and there is no place where to land the airport, because where to land the helicopters, because there is no helipad at all. So, and even the policemen, they are also missing. The army personnel who's supposed to carry out the rescue operation, they are themselves in a difficult time, because they based in that particular locality. They're supposed to carry out all the rescue operations. The police personnel, they're supposed to carry out rescue operation, but they themselves are missing. the army personnel, they themselves are missing because that area is earthquake prone area. So there are some some police personnel are there for that purpose. But thing is that they are their life is also being endangered. We don't know about their whereabouts. 28 already been very unfortunate situation had happened, and for the authorities, it's a very difficult to carry out the rescue operation to get the things normalized. Local administration is also helpless because the flood entered into the bazaar area. Even the government officials are also damaged, and people are in the panic. The authorities are also in panic. They are, helpless. How to react? How to respond to this situation? They are really perplexed in this situation. How to move forward? And even the government.
Yeah, but Mr. Tripathi, I'm getting to know that bridges have been swept away even in.
It's very hard.
Dr. Tripathi, we are getting to know, Mr. Tripathi, that
bridges are swept away.
Bridges have been swept away even till Dhading.
That's why the transport communication has been. Dhading also, yes. Dhading bridge has been also collapsed. So there is no link to the Dhading headquarters, Dhading district headquarters, because that is the only bridge which is to reach Dhading district headquarters, but that bridge has been collapsed. So now it's there is no.
All right. Mr. Tripathi, we also have Nimesh Jha, a journalist who is also joining us from Kathmandu to give us all the update of the information. Nimesh Jha, thanks a lot for joining. The visuals are very frightening, scary visuals coming in from Kathmandu. Unprecedented, never imagined before kind of situation which is happening in Nepal. And we're getting to know that many hydropower projects have been swept away, buildings swept away, villages swept away, army camps, police stations swept away. What is the level of destruction? What are the reports that you are getting?
अभी तक मेरी जानकारी में जो आई है नेपाल पुलिस की जो खबर है उसमें से अभी तक 9 डेड बॉडी रिकवर हो चुका है और ये डेड बॉडी कहां से आया हुआ है किसका है अभी तक उसको पता नहीं है पानी में बहकर ये डेड बॉडी मिला हुआ है और उसको पहचान भी अभी तक नहीं हो चुका है और एक बात यह है कि जो अभी कुछ देर पहले कैबिनेट का मीटिंग हुआ था उसने मीटिंग में रसुआ जो इफेक्टेड डिस्ट्रिक्ट है 3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट रसुआ नुवाकोट और धादिङ ये 3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है जो ज्यादा इफेक्टेड एरिया है उसको संकटग्रस्त क्षेत्र घोषणा कर चुका है और वहां पर रिलीफ और रेस्क्यू का टीम पठाने के लिए सरकार ने निर्देशन दे चुका है अभी जो होम मिनिस्टर हैं सुदन गुरुङ वो भी पार्लियामेंट में इस संदर्भ में अपना जवाब दे रहे हैं सरकार क्या कर रही है उनका आगे का प्लानिंग क्या है इस विषय में अभी पार्लियामेंट में छलफल चल रहा है
बिल्कुल लेकिन थोड़ा सा उस इलाके के बारे में भी आप अगर हमें बता पाएं निमेश झा जी पहाड़ी क्षेत्र है थोड़ा सा दुर्गम पहाड़ी है जहां पर लोगों का जाना मुश्किल है रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन कितना मुश्किल है और वहाँ आबादी कहते हैं कि 50,000 की आबादी अगर रसूवा की बात की जाए उस लोकेशन की बात की जाए और आंकड़ा बढ़ सकता है हम चाहते नहीं कि मरने वालों का आंकड़ा बढ़े लेकिन कितनी बड़ी ये आपदा है त्रासदी है वो आपको जो खबर आ रही है आपके सोर्सेज से
देखिए अभी जो फिलहाल जानकारी जो आई हुई है उसमें क्या है कि ये बाढ़ जो है अचानक आया हुआ है और वर्षा भी जो एरिया है उस उधर वर्षा भी नहीं हुआ है तो ये बाढ़ कैसे अचानक आया इस संदर्भ में क्या अनुमान है कि जो तिब्बत के जो एरिया है जो बॉर्डर एरिया है रसुआ जिला के पास उसमें ग्लेशियर ब्रस्ट होने की आशंका है ग्लेशियर ब्रस्ट होने के बाद इस तरह का बाढ़ आया हुआ होगा जो अभी अनुमान कर रहे हैं लेकिन एग्जैक्ट रीजन क्या है अभी पता नहीं चला हुआ है तो इस तरह का बाढ़ आया और ये भी कैसा है कि बहुत भीषण और ज़्यादा भयानक किस्म का बाढ़ है जो किसी ने कल्पना भी नहीं किया था, अचानक आ चुका। और जो आप जो बताए कि उधर जो पॉपुलेशन का डेंसिटी है वो भी पहाड़ी एरिया में क्या होता है कि आपको जानकारी होगा कि एक जगह पर घर बस्ती नहीं होता है, कुछ दूर दूर में होता है और नदी के आसपास भी बस्ती है। तो डैमेज कितना कैसे हुआ अभी कुछ भी फिलहाल कहने की अवस्था में जो सरकार का जो मैकेनिज्म है, जो सिक्योरिटी बॉडीज है, वो भी इस विषय में कुछ नहीं बोल पाया हुआ है कि कैसा कहां पर कैसा किस तरह का डैमेज हुआ है। और क्या है कि वहां पर कस्टम ऑफिस भी है बॉर्डर के पास, जो तिब्बत से चाइना से जो सामान जो आते हैं वहां पर बॉर्डर ऑफिस है। तो वहाँ वो एक जानकारी है कि वो बॉर्डर ऑफिस डैमेज बहुत अच्छे से किस्म से बहुत खराब बुरी तरह से डैमेज हो चुका है। वहाँ पर जो कंटेनर था वो भी पानी में बह चुका है, लगभग 6 कंटेनर पानी में बहने की बात जानकारी आई हुई है। और उस एरिया में लगभग 15 से ज़्यादा हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट है, वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा डैमेज हो चुका है। 15 से भी ज़्यादा हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट डैमेज हो चुका है। और लगभग 3 से 3.5 से ज़्यादा मेगावाट का जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सप्लाई है वो डिस्टर्ब हो चुका है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए, पूरी जानकारी हमारे साथ साझा करने के लिए। सो ही जॉइंड अस फ्रॉम काठमांडू विद ऑल द लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स इन द स्टोरी एंड दीज द विजुअल्स ऑफ द फ्लैश फ्लड्स फ्रॉम नेपाल। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, रिवर बैंक submerged, buildings swept away, villages swept away, people swept away, cars and trucks, buses swept away. Never seen before incident, catastrophe, which is the visuals of which are coming from Nepal. All right, viewers, now let's move on to another top story that we are tracking, which is a big revelation which has been made by former CDS Anil Chauhan on the inside details of the Operation Sindoor. Speaking at the Vimarsh event on Operation Sindoor and its aftermath at the Vivekanand International Foundation, Chauhan made astonishing revelations and said that Indian loitering missions were sent to search for radars around Sargodha. Chauhan shared key insights into Operation Sindoor, India's military strategy and the decisions that shaped the operation, from revealing what Prime Minister Narendra Modi told the CDS before the operation to explaining its 3 phases. All right, viewers, let's go back to the story that we were tracking. These are the visuals coming in from Nepal, aftermath of the destruction. And you can completely understand the kind of situation. You can't see the river flowing. That's the situation, and these are the river banks and the riverbank areas and the villages on the border area, border between Nepal and Tibet, and you can completely understand the kind of devastation and the accumulation of debris in that river. Very less water can be seen flowing in that river, which was completely flooded. And this inundation is quite visible, quite evident when it comes to the flooding which happened, the sudden flooding which happened in Nepal, in Rasuwa in Nepal. These are the exclusive shots which are coming in from Nepal. These are the aerial shots coming in from Nepal of which explain the devastation, which explain the kind of destruction which is happening right now, which happened today in Nepal, the visuals of which are on your television screen. Ladies and gentlemen, visuals from Rasuwa, from Nepal on your television screen. You can completely understand the level of destruction. And this was after a flash flood happened in Nepal, first on Republic, on your television screen. These are the visuals of the aftermath, explaining the catastrophe, the disaster, coming in from Nepal, from Rasuwa on your television screen. Look at these visuals and you can imagine the kind of devastation and the damage it has done. Various power projects swept away, buildings damaged, and this is a mix of debris that is water, mud, sand, and you can see pebbles and trees and vehicles and building debris flowing in that river, and that is why it's obstructed, it's not flowing properly, and that is because of the sudden flash floods in Nepal. All right, viewers, these are the 2 visuals. That is right at the time of the flooding, right at the time the flash floods happened and the aftermath. The two visuals to explain you the kind of devastation, the destruction, the damage that has been caused by the flooding, the sudden flooding in Nepal. And these are the scary visuals which surfaced earlier, where there was no time for the residents and the locals to leave that location, and many were unsuccessful in leaving that river bank, and many are still missing right now as we speak. Many police stations also were swept away. Army camps have been swept away, and even power generation plants, power project plants were also swept away, damaged. All right, viewers, these are more fresh visuals which have surfaced, and you can completely understand the inundation and the accumulation of debris. Visuals coming in again on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. Aerial shots to explain you the kind of devastation which has happened in Nepal. In Nepal, ladies and gentlemen, as you can completely understand the kind of damage which has been caused because of the flash floods. And also, there has been a reaction by the Prime Minister of Nepal, that is Honorable Prime Minister Balendra Shah, who has consulted with federal lawmakers from the affected areas regarding the situation arising out of the flood in the Botekoshi River in Rasuwa. Now, there was a meeting also that was organized, but let's go back to the pictures. You can see the pictures, you can understand the kind of devastation that has been caused by the flooding. It happened all of a sudden, and this happened in a region that borders Tibet, and it is a mountainous region, and the rivers and the river region faced a sudden flash flood, and even though there was a way for the water to pass through, but because of the inundation, you can see completely because of the flash floods which happened, and also the damage which was done to the nearby villages, the damage which was done to the power projects. And you can see, look at those visuals, the visuals during the flash floods where trucks were swept away, vehicles were swept away, and because it's not just water that was flowing, it was also the debris, the mud, sand, and gravel, pebbles, stones, boulders. You can understand the kind of situation when flash floods happen in mountainous region, and these are the aerial shots and more shots which have surfaced right now. First on Republic, these shots on your television screen, you can understand the kind of damage. The nature has done the destruction, and this is the aftermath of the destruction caused by nature. Time for a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. Coming up after the break, more visuals and more details about the flash floods in Nepal.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। मसाला। ايش عملتي يا حبيبتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
Hello.
Coming up next, big op Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha, and it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Big op Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered an attack on either of the. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former CDS Chauhan clarifies that unless Mecca Pact explicitly states that it is not against India, it must be assumed that it is against India. Government fire truck being used to wash BJP MLA Ramnivas Shah's private vehicle at his residence, raising serious questions over government resources misuse. Flash floods sweeps through Nepal's Rasuwa, damaging markets and hydropower projects and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. The biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail, Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. A big revelation has been made by former CDS Anil Chauhan on the inside details of Operation Sindoor. Now, speaking at the Vimarsh event on Operation Sindoor and its aftermath at the Vivekanand International Foundation, Chauhan made astonishing revelations and said that Indian loitering missions were sent to search for radars around Sargodha. Chauhan shared key insights into Operation Sindoor, India's military strategy and the decisions that shaped the operation. From revealing what Prime Minister Narendra Modi told the CDS before the operation to explaining its three phases, India's preparedness and exit strategy, Chauhan details why India gained the upper hand. He also discusses Pakistan's response, its difficulties in assessing the strikes and the key lessons it may have drawn from Operation Sindoor.
There was a small episode about what I think Air Marshal Bharti was asked, that Kirana Hills episode. I think I'll clarify this. At occasions it's been asked whether Kirana Hills were hit or not. That's where their nuclear facilities are there. And with Bharti had rightly clarified that we did not target Kirana Hills. I can maybe given kind of an explanation. Before those strikes, we had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit one of those hills. So that could be one of the reasons as to what people asked. Yes, because Pakistani media also showed some kind of images in which there was smoke coming out from Kirana Hills, and they were asking. Next is a new normal. You heard about this new normal, which the Prime Minister has said that, there'll be talks and terror will not go together, blood and water will not flow together, will not tolerate cross-border terrorism, and will make no distinction between perpetrators and their handlers, and then will not be blackmailed or by nuclear blackmail.
Now, the biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. PTI chairman Barrister Gauhar Khan, in his first ever interview to international media, is live and exclusive. Imran Khan has been launched in Adiala jail for over 2 years now, facing more than 150 cases. His party has alleged a political witch hunt and a complete denial of justice, with repeated claims about his deteriorating health and solitary confinement. What is Imran Khan's real health condition? What is the PTI's next big strategy? Hear it straight from the man closest to Imran Khan, Barrister Gauhar Khan. Listen in.
सर ये बताइएगा कि जो हुकूमत के खिलाफ पीटीआई की तरफ से दायर करदा जो तौहीन अदालत है उसका क्या स्टेटस है सर इस वक्त?
देखो, हमने एक पिटीशन फाइल कर दी थी सैटरडे वाले दिन, और हम अदालत से यही दरख्वास्त कर रहे हैं कि 18 तारीख को जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर किया था और इसमें खान साहब को शिफा इंटरनेशनल हॉस्पिटल शिफ्ट होना था, उसमें एक बोर्ड बनना था मेडिकल, जिसमें खान साहब की बहन और खान साहब के ज़ाती मुआलिज शामिल होना था। वो चूँकि लेटर इन स्पिरिट में इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ, उस हॉस्पिटल में नहीं ले जाया गया और वो टेस्ट नहीं हुए जिसका सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर किया, लिहाजा हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इस्तदा की है कि इस ऑर्डर को इम्प्लीमेंट करो। उस ऑर्डर की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अभी बाकी है, लेकिन जो एप्लीकेशन हमने फाइल की है उसमें पहले ऑब्जेक्शन लगा हुआ था, ऑब्जेक्शन के बाद हमने उसको रीफाइल कर दिया और अब उसको नंबर अलॉट हुआ है। हमें उम्मीद है इंशाअल्लाह ताला कि जुमेरात को या जितनी भी जल्द हो सके सुप्रीम कोर्ट इंशाअल्लाह उसकी समाअत करे।
मतलब आप क्या समझते हैं कब तक, अगले हफ्ते तक ये जा सकती है?
देखो, हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से रिक्वेस्ट की है, उस पर एक नोट जरूर पुटअप हुआ होगा और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा है कि जितनी जल्द समाअत हो सकती हो हम करेंगे और बेंच की अवेलेबिलिटी भी देखेंगे और बेंच की अवेलेबिलिटी को देख करके इंशाल्लाह वो जल्द फैसला करेंगे।
सर ये बताइएगा, आज आपने जो तौहीन अदालत डाली थी उसके ऊपर एतराज़ात लगे, फिर वो तौहीन अदालत दोबारा आप लोगों ने फाइल कर दी और उसको डायरी नंबर भी अलॉट कर दिया गया है। अब कल जो है वो परसों पीटीआई ने कहा है जुमेरात वाले दिन फिर आईएलएफ के वकला जाएंगे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बाहर, फिर कोई धरना होगा या वो जो आप लोग अलामती प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं वो होगा?
नहीं, देखो, धरना भी नहीं, अलामती प्रोटेस्ट भी नहीं। हमने ये कहा था कि इसको नंबर अलॉट करके इस पे नोट पुटअप कर दिए, नंबर अलॉट हो गया, नोट पुटअप हुआ होगा। अभी चीफ जस्टिस साहब को रूटीन में यही होता है कि दफ्तर नंबर अलॉट करता है, रजिस्ट्रार साहब एक नोट पुट करता है, चीफ जस्टिस को बताता है कि इसमें अर्जेंसी क्या है। हमने कहा है कि ये हेल्थ रिलेटेड मैटर है और उसके हेल्थ को शदीद ख़तरात लाहिक है और डॉक्टर का होना, डॉक्टर का टेस्ट इंटरव्यू वगैरह होना बड़ा ज़रूरी है। लिहाजा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि हम उसकी हेयरिंग करेंगे। अगर थर्सडे को बेंच अवेलेबल हुआ, जो हमने रिक्वेस्ट की है, क्योंकि जज साहिबान पाकिस्तान में मौजूद है और अगर वो पाकिस्तान में है तो जूम से भी हेयरिंग हो सकती है, एक मीटिंग कॉल की जा सकती है। लिहाजा थर्सडे को मीटिंग हो जाएगी, नहीं है तो शायद जुमे को हो जाए।
सर ये बताइएगा, जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान का फैसला था उसके ऊपर हुकूमत ने मनो अमल क्यों नहीं किया? क्या वजूहात उन्होंने पेश की हैं?
देखो, हमें तो कुछ नहीं बताया गया कि क्या वजूहात है, लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आर्डर पे मन ऑन लेटर इन स्पिरिट अमल होना चाहिए था, हॉस्पिटल में शिफ्ट होना चाहिए था। वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर में कोई अभाम नहीं था। अगर अभाम होता तो रिव्यू फाइल की जा सकती थी, उसमें कोई अभाम नहीं था। मैटर बड़ा सिंपल था, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने लिखा था, हुकूमत ने रिव्यू फाइल भी किया, फिर वापस ले लिया, फिर उसको ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट करने की तरफ बढ़े भी, लेकिन ऑल ऑफ अ सडन मिडवे जो है वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो सका, जो बड़ा अनफॉर्चुनेट।
सर इस वक्त जो है पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ की जो लॉयर्स की टीम है उसके ऊपर पूरे पाकिस्तान की नजरें हैं। आने वाले दिनों में आप क्या समझते हैं, जो आपके चाहने वाले हैं या जो पाकिस्तान में इमरान खान साहब के चाहने वाले हैं, उनको क्या तवक्को करनी चाहिए कि खान साहब जो है दोबारा शिफा इंटरनेशनल जाएंगे?
देखिए, हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कानून के मुताबिक, इनके मुताबिक हम जा रहे हैं, हर फोरम में गए हैं। हम 25 मरतबा सुप्रीम हाई कोर्ट चले गए और अभी आज के जिस वक्त मैं गया मैंने बोला भी है तो 19 मरतबा हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए। और एवरी टाइम जब हम जाते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट को तो हम उनको ये कह रहे हैं कि आइन कानून के मुताबिक ये हमारा राइट है, SOP के मुताबिक हमारा राइट है। हम कोई गुरेला फोर्स तो नहीं है कि बाहर निकल के आए, आओ जी खान साहब को उठाएं और हॉस्पिटल चले जाएं, बल्कि हम कहते हैं नहीं, अदालत ऑर्डर करे और अदालत का जो प्रोसीजर है वो ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ फॉलो हो और इस तरीके से हम आगे बढ़े। तो वकला से जो लोगों की तवक्कुआत है बजा है और वकला अपना काम कर रहे हैं, एप्लीकेशनें फाइल की हुई हैं। अब ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे मुनसर है और मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट से इस्तदा करूंगा कि ये आपकी ऑर्डर की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन बड़ा ज़रूरी है। आज़ाद अदलिया का होना बड़ा ज़रूरी है, लेकिन जो भी अदलिया इस वक्त मौजूद है अपना ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट करना सुप्रीम कोर्ट की आईनी जिम्मेदारी है। मुझे उम्मीद है सुप्रीम कोर्ट इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करवाएगी इंशाल्लाह।
ये आप समझते हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो है वो जो उन्होंने ऑर्डर दिया था और आपको उसके ऊपर कोई एतराज तो नहीं है, या आपको कोई अभी कोई सवाल हो या सुप्रीम कोर्ट के हवाले से जजेस?
नहीं, हम ये कहते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो आपने ऑर्डर किया उस ऑर्डर को इम्प्लीमेंट करो। ऑर्डर सिंपल है, खान साहब को हॉस्पिटल ले जाए, उसके टेस्ट और इलाज के लिए फलाना हॉस्पिटल ले जाए, एक बोर्ड बने, उसमें डॉक्टर हो, डॉक्टर तजवीज़ करे इलाज और डॉक्टरों के मुताबिक आगे बढ़े। दैट्स ऑल।
बहुत शुक्रिया।
All right, so that was an exclusive conversation with the closest aide of Imran Khan. Now let's move on to another top story that we are tracking. Rahul Gandhi's remarks on women's autonomy and the Manusmriti at his Chhatron Ki Gunj event in Pune have triggered a fresh political battle. Now the leader of opposition has accused the BJP and RSS of promoting a mindset that suppresses women, drawing a sharp response from Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who accused Rahul Gandhi of insulting India's traditions and urged him to read the Veds. And now the BJP has also questioned Congress's position on Vande Mataram and women's reservation, while social media users have raised questions over Rahul Gandhi's approach to religious practices and women's rights. Now the controversy has now expanded into a larger debate over patriarchy, religion and political consistency.
In childhood, a female belongs to her father. In youth, she belongs to her husband. When her Lord is dead, she belongs to her sons. A woman must never be independent. This is a direct quote from the Manusmriti. And these words are a shame, because these words should never ever have been spoken.
All right, now there are many reactions coming in from the BJP. That is, the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has also slammed Rahul Gandhi, and also a reaction from Smriti Irani and other BJP leaders. Let's listen in.
राहुल जी कहते हैं बेटियों को भड़काने का काम कर रहे हैं, कहते हैं मनुस्मृति से बाहर निकलिए। भाई, भारत की परंपरा तो ऐसी है, आप माने या ना माने कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, लेकिन गलत तथ्यों से अवगत तो मत कराइए। आपको मनुस्मृति को मानना है मानिए, नहीं मानना है मत मानिए, लेकिन मनुस्मृति की अच्छाइयों को भी बताइए और बुराइयों को भी बताइए, बहस करिए इस पर। अथर्ववेद जिसकी चर्चा करता हो, शतपथ ब्राह्मण में जिसकी चर्चा हुई हो, महाभारत जिसके बारे में चर्चा करता और मत्स्य पुराण जिसकी महिमा का गान करता हो, उस मनु को आप अपमानित क्यों करना चाहते हैं? आप माने ना माने, कभी हमने नहीं कहा। आप तो राम की विरासत को भी अपमानित करते हैं। आपकी पार्टी ने तो कह दिया था कि राम हुए ही नहीं, लेकिन आज अयोध्या में कल भी आचरण आपकी पार्टी का और आपके नेताओं का आचरण देश ने देखा है, दुनिया ने देखा है। आप माने ना माने, लेकिन याद रखना, आज भी हर सनातनी जिस काल गणना को मानता है, वह काल गणना किसी और ने नहीं दी है। राहुल जी, वह काल गणना मनु ने दी है, और वह काल गणना है जब पलक झपकता है उसको निमेष कहते हैं। हमारे यहां काल गणना पलक झपकने को निमेष कहते हैं। 25 निमेष का एक काष्ठा होता है और एक 30 काष्ठा का एक कला, 30 कला का एक मुहूर्त और 30 मुहूर्त का एक अहोरात्र। अहोरात्र का मतलब एक पूरी रात और दिन मिलाकर के एक अहोरात्र होता है। 15 दिन यानी एक 15 अहोरात्र का एक पक्ष होता है और 2 पक्ष का यानी कृष्ण पक्ष और शुक्ल पक्ष, हर महीने में 2 पक्ष चलते हैं, तो 2 पक्ष का एक माह होता है। 6 माह का एक अयन होता है और 2 अयन का एक वर्ष होता है। याद रखना, मकर संक्रांति का आयोजन जब हम करते हैं, भगवान सूर्य जब उत्तरायण में आते हैं तो मकर संक्रांति आती है। हम लोग नदियों में स्नान करते हैं, प्रयागराज में माघ का मेला लगता है। हम लोग जाते हैं, संगम में स्नान करते हैं, और भीष्म पितामह ने तो उत्तरायण आने के लिए अपने शरीर को सरसैया में वेदना में झेलते रहे, लेकिन उत्तरायण आने के बाद ही अपने प्राणों को छोड़ा था। ये 2 अयन का एक वर्ष होता है, और याद रखना, इससे बड़ी काल गणना दुनिया में नहीं। 43,32,000 वर्ष का एक महायुग हमने माना है, एक पर्याय माना है। 31 पर्याय को एक मनवंतर के रूप में माना है और 14 मनवंतर को एक कल्प के रूप में माना है। यह भारत का काल गणना है और ये किसी और ने नहीं। राहुल जी, ये आपके नाना ने नहीं दिया है, पर नाना ने नहीं दिया है, आपकी दादी ने नहीं दिया है, ये दिया है मनु ने दिया है, ये मनु ने दिया है, और जिसको आज भी हर सनातनी जिसका पालन करते अपने पर्व और त्योहारों को मानता है।
चूंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी के एक अहम नेता ने महिलाओं और महिलाओं के नेतृत्व के समर्थन की बात की है, मैं उनसे कहना चाहती हूं विनम्रता पूर्वक, कृपया प्रधानमंत्री जी की इस मुहिम को कि देश की महिलाओं को संसद में नेतृत्व करने के लिए 33% आरक्षण का बिल त्वरित रूप से लागू हो, इस प्रयास में प्रधानमंत्री जी का सहयोग करें। मैं उस अहम नेता को एक और निवेदन करती हूं, वंदे मातरम में भी जिन पंक्तियों को कांग्रेस मुख्यालय में रोका गया, उन पंक्तियों में मां दुर्गा का उल्लेख है। जिस दुर्गा स्वरूपा को हम शक्ति के केंद्र की दृष्टि से उपासना करते हैं, उस दुर्गा मां का जय घोष, वंदे मातरम का पूरा मंचन, पूरा गायन कांग्रेस मुख्यालय में हो।
में राहुल गांधी को कुछ नहीं मालूम मनुस्मृति क्या है। अरे मनुस्मृति उसको केवल हिंदू महिलाओं का, हिंदू समाज पर, सनातन पर अटैक करता है। उस व्यक्ति को यह नहीं मालूम मुस्लिम महिलाओं के साथ क्या होता है। हलाला, 3 तलाक, वो क्या करता है वो आदमी, 4 शादियां कर सकता है। सबसे पीड़ित इस देश में मुस्लिम महिलाएं हैं और उस पर यह राहुल गांधी कुछ नहीं बोलेगा, क्योंकि इसकी पार्टी जो है वो दूसरी मुस्लिम लीग बन गई है।
All right, let's move to another top story that we are tracking, and this is about the controversial New York mayor, the controversial mayor of New York City, that is Zohran Mamdani, who has said that he does not support the upcoming planned event at Madison Square Garden, as usual, where Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh Sarsanchalak, that is Chief Mohan Bhagwat, is scheduled to address members of the Indian diaspora on August 29th. Now, he said that the city may, however, not have the jurisdiction, so he's quite upset because of that to cancel the private event scheduled for the August 29th event. RSS Chief Bhagwat arrived in the US earlier in the day as part of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh's centenary year global outreach program. And during his stay in New York, he would participate in the Universal Oneness program and address a gathering of around 5,000 people at the iconic Madison Square Garden on Saturday. And this is yet again the controversial mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, opposing an RSS event. He also had earlier opposed the Ram Mandir.
You know, I also stand here as the first Indian American mayor in our city's history. And my mother's family is all still in India. And the vision of India that I was taught by my family, and the one that I grew up being very familiar with, was of a pluralistic society, of a secular republic that believed in the belonging of each and every person who was from India. And it has been incredibly troubling to see the rise of a movement that is predicated on an exclusionary vision of any country, frankly. And so it is one that I find myself in deep opposition to, not only as an Indian American, but also as the mayor of a city that believes deeply in the belonging of each and every person, no matter their color, their creed, their religion, their faith, wherever they're from.
Should the rally be canceled, though, at MSG this weekend?
I don't support the rally, but I don't know if the city has any jurisdiction on canceling a private event.
All right, it's time to slip into a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere, because coming up next, government fire truck being used to wash BJP MLA Ramnivas Shah's private vehicle at his residence, raising serious questions over government resources misuse.
रंग रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे रंग रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे रंग रंगीन रे रंग बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूम देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
ايش عملتي يا حبيبتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
رموا 4 صواريخ، وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانا ونازحين للاسف كلهم اتدمروا. للاسف الحين هم بلا مأوى، هم الوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني، او كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بامان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا، بدنا نحس. هاي بيت شايفين كيف؟ هاي هذا البيت تدمر واحنا واقفين وبنتكلم بسبب القصف اللي كان قبل شويه.
بين الطفل بتاكل يجيها طلق في ظهرها يقتلها، طلق يجيها في ظهرها يقتلها على المطرح. ماتت البنت، بنت صغيرة 10 سنين عمرها، ما عملتش ولا حاجة.
Well, it is coming up next. Big Op Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. and the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Republic. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj. Rahul Gandhi has said that we need to smash the patriarchy. BJP questions Congress's own agenda and the past in the last few years. Their own needs to walk the talk. That's what the bigger message by the BJP is. We'll decode it for you more. But first, let's take a look at the headlines.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit one of those hills.
Big Operation Sindoor revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered an attack on either of the. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former CDS Chauhan clarifies that unless Mecca Pact explicitly states that it is not against India, it must be assumed that it is against India. Government fire truck being used to wash BJP MLA Ramnivas Shah's private vehicle at his residence, raising serious questions over government resources, misuse and VVIP mindset. Flash flood sweep through Nepal's Rusawa, damaging markets and hydropower projects and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. The biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. Trouble seems to be mounting for Nepal as another flood warning has been issued for Nepal. And now, reacting to the same, Nepal Prime Minister Balendra Shah has called a meeting of the National Council for Disaster Risk Reduction and Management regarding the flood that occurred in Rasuwa this morning. In the meeting held recently at the office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers in Singadarbar, a briefing was given on the details of the damage caused by the flood so far. And the Prime Minister has instructed all stakeholders on the next steps. Balendra Shah has also requested everyone to work in the rescue, search and relief of the affected citizens in the flood-affected areas from their respective places at this time of disaster. Remember, Nepal is fighting severe floods in several parts, and now, as per the authorities, there is also alert for another flood that can come in just after the disaster that was witnessed. 5 districts are on high alert. Nepal Army has launched rescue operations, and on war front, this rescue operation is undergoing as every minute is important. Downstream areas have been evacuated and damage assessment is underway, and this is a key meeting by Nepal Prime Minister Balendra Shah, who has instructed that all rescue efforts should be taken care of and assistance should be given to all people included. And as rescue operations continue, Nepal Army is assisting and providing relief to the people who are distressed after the flash floods, the sudden downpour that happened, massive floods that hit Nepal, after which now the army is involved. You can see army choppers are deployed in the affected areas where army is trying to give more assistance and providing relief aid to the people living there. Several people have been evacuated from the low-lying areas, and Nepal is currently on high alert as 5 districts are witnessing the damage and the impact of these severe floods. And these are the visuals of the Army's rescue operation that is underway in several parts which are affected. 5 districts, as I said, are on big alert as the flood situation is being monitored by Nepali Prime Minister Balendra Shah as well. Helicopters have been deployed for relief and rescue operations, and several of the other forces in the country are also on standby to assist anybody who is out there stuck in these floods. The flash floods have hit Rasuwa, damaged hydropower project and markets. A flash flood had swept through the Timuri and other areas of Rasuwa, where damaged markets, and we also had drone visuals of the severe impact that has been witnessed by the 5 districts which are on high alert as well. Now, the situation in Nepal is grim as Nepal is fighting these flash floods, hydropower projects, network areas. Severely communication has been impacted in the region. Flash flood had swept through the areas where, after which several of the communication process was also damaged, and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. The Rasuwa District Administration Office said it had received reports of a sudden surge in the Bhotkoshi River, which enters Nepal from Tibet. The administration warned that the surge could raise water levels in the Trishuli River and increase the risk of flooding downstream. It also urged people fishing or working in the Trishuli to move away from the river immediately, and asked those living along its banks as well as hydropower projects and other infrastructure near the river to take precautions and make necessary preparedness. Now, you can see the damage and the impact of these flash floods on your screens are the visuals describing the severe impact and how people have been impacted. So far, there is no current number that has come out, but several people are believed to be shifted from the low-lying areas to safer regions as army and other forces of Nepal remain in rescue and relief operations. You can see these are the visuals of the aftermath of that flash flood, how the debris, the mud is all over the villages which were impacted during this flash flood. And now Nepal Prime Minister taking note and also chairing meetings to warn of further impact. But the trouble is not over yet. Chinese satellites have also alerted that this is what can happen again, and another flash flood warning has been issued in the area. This is the river that was on high current, after which the flood happened, and impact has been witnessed across 5 districts. You can see how, due to the breaking of a glacier, the water level in the river had increased, and after which at least 5 districts have witnessed the impact of We also have one guest joining us, Rishi Gupta, South Asia expert, for more on this. Rishi Gupta, thank you so much for joining us. Do tell us about the region first. Many do not know, is Rusawa a very low-lying area or a high area? What are the chances of this flash flood impact?
Thank you so much for having me. And I think this is just not, I mean, first of all, this is very devastating, a very bad news, I would say, coming from Nepal. Nepal is always prone to earthquakes, flash floods, and the geography is such that it keeps happening. So I would say what's happening today may be a routine flood scenario, but at the same time, it's not so usual in a sense that the flash floods from that angle are pretty critical. Secondly, I think as we see, Nepal-China border itself is very, Himalayan, and a lot of water flows through, fresh water flows through a lot of these terrains. So in that sense, I would say it's a very critical situation for Nepal right now. And I think what makes it even more grimmer in many ways is that the preparation in that section have not been that strong. And that's how you see a lot of events being cancelled, where a lot of officials have been been assigned to go there and just look at what's happening in the section. Yeah.
You say the preparations weren't there, but what kind of preparations should be there for certain regions like these? Many in India are also on high alert. But what should be the correct preparedness by any authority or the people living there in such regions?
I mean, first of all, look, in such scenarios and such crises, Air Force is the only option that you have to reach on the ground in the swift way possible. I think Nepal does not have Air Force. It doesn't require in many ways, but at the same time, it does. The Nepal Army has its own helicopters, but from that angle, it may not be sufficient. I think what resolution can be provided right now is from the Chinese side, from the Indian side. Obviously, Tibetan region is, very much involved. So from that angle, if we see, I think India has always launched Operation Maitri, and I think such help can be provided. At the same time, Nepal, this has been a long debate. I don't think this is the right time to debate about what kind of help is required or what kind of system that should be in place. But I think for the longest, I would say from 2015 onwards, when the earthquake took place in the Gorkha region of Nepal, that request has been always there. That
right, Rishi, just stay with us. We also have breaking news coming in at this hour. 105 Indian tourists are reportedly missing in Nepal floods. Big breaking news coming in as far as Indian tourists that are to be concerned. At least 105 tourists are reportedly missing after flash floods in Nepal. This is coming from the authorities. Nepal Tourism Board has just now updated the numbers, and as per them, at least 105 Indian nationals are reportedly missing in these floods. 12 are also from United Kingdom, 4 are from South Africa, 17 from Malaysia, and 105 from India. The number is alarming, and remember, Nepal is the favorite tourist place for Indians, and that's how the number is triggering and important. Let me go back to Rishi also. Rishi, once many Indians go to Nepal, it's easier to travel to Nepal. That's why this is one of the prime destination of most favored destination of many Indians. But, at times like this, how do the tourists also be careful, keeping the weather in mind, keeping the scenario like something like that can happen? How do we need to plan better? Rishi, your audio cannot be properly communicated. Please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yeah. So, very good question. And I would say for Indians, it becomes very easy because of the open border.
Yes.
At the same time, the problem is often we go to, say, a Western country or, say, somewhere in the West, we do take care of the weather, season, and monsoon. But when it comes to Nepal, we think that it's easier for us to travel, and we know the region. But I think regions like that are always prone to monsoons or the monsoon risks, and also in every weather. I think that's a terrain is such that you cannot avoid such risks. So I think what best way for Indian tourists is always reach out to the embassy while they are traveling to Nepal, and also register themselves so their security guarantees can be provided in case of a crisis anywhere in Nepal. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rishi, for giving us your perspective. And it is alarming. 105 Indian tourists are reportedly missing in Nepal. Flash floods. We will continue to track all the updates. Thank you so much, Rishi, for those expert opinions. We also are cautioning everyone to be out there, to be safe, and reach out to your loved ones. Moving on now. Canada-US trade tensions have sharply escalated after Washington imposed 50% tariffs on about $27.6 billion of Canadian goods following the collapse of trade talks. Ottawa has responded with 15 to 50% retaliatory tariffs on roughly $27.6 billion of US products, effective September 8. Targeting sectors such as steel, dairy, appliances and agricultural equipment and more. Take a look at this tit-for-tat diplomatic regions.
And I have a lot of real estate on, so he has a lot of room because.
United States President Donald Trump has imposed new 50% tariffs on several Canadian goods after the trade deal between Canada and the United States failed. Right after the president imposed tariffs on Canada, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney imposed counter tariffs on the United States. He was backed strongly by Ford, whose province is on the front line of Trump's tariffs, as Canada's auto and steel manufacturing heartland.
And I have a lot of real estate on, so he has a lot of room because. So I'm to a dictator like President Trump, a bully like President Trump. As I said before, he's the type of guy in school that would take your lunch money one day, take your toque off your head the next day, and then steal your running shoes. But I'm not going to take any advice off a guy that's the king of bankruptcies. And he's actually tariffing his own people, taxing his own people. And I'm going to make sure I communicate through the U.S. media. I'm going to be reaching out to every single governor, every single senator, and every single congressperson. And when it comes to the midterms, I have a message to the Americans. Don't vote in a person that's going to kill your jobs. He ran on creating more jobs. Last time I checked, jobs went down in the U.S. and Ontario created more jobs. He ran on reducing the cost of living. Last time I checked, food's more expensive down there. Homes are more expensive. And the reason homes are more expensive because he has a tariff on our lumber, which 33% of all homes that are built in the U.S. use Canadian lumber. So I'm not going to take lessons off President Trump. He's the last guy that I would take any lessons off. And it's about Team Canada. Well, we'll see how this goes. But he wants to put pain on Canadians. We'll leverage every bit of pain we possibly can on Americans. And I feel bad for. I've always said I love the American people. I still stand by that statement because there's a lot of people in the U.S. that are calling me saying, way to go, keep going. Your own people, President Trump, don't even like you. And they're going to speak loud and clear when it comes to the midterms. And if I was allowed to, I'd be down there door knocking. I'm just not going to take the bait. This guy's a loser. He's going to be a loser. And simple as that. We're going to fight with everything we have. And something, I have more courage, more brains in my baby toe than he has in his whole body. So there you go.
This is the most successful automotive partnership in history. It's existed for all my life for 60 years. And the president is doing... Look, when the Americans go to the negotiation table first with the right attitude towards our industries and a true partnership, of course we'll come to the negotiating table. Let's be clear. There is an existing arrangement between our countries and Mexico that works. It can be improved. There's ways to improve it, and we will work to improve it in ways that are to the benefit of Canadians, but also to the benefit of Americans and the people of Mexico. But an attitude at the negotiation table that Canada is a subsidiary of the United States, the Canadian industry is going to be disadvantaged relative to American industry, that we're going to set up terms so that over time Canadian industry is going to face constant headwinds. That's not something we're going to accept.
Donald Trump's new 50% tariffs have started impacting business in Canada, including higher production costs and increased prices for raw materials.
There was another client that was building a medical facility that we were building the receptionist desk for, but they're putting off their build out because they need drywall, they need sheet goods, they need 2x4s, and we needed materials to build the cabinetry and desk in there. And with a 50% tariff, all those costs have skyrocketed, and just that one project just cost our family thousands of dollars in profit. And which impacts the ability for us to put food on the table for our family, but also impacts the ability for us to give back to our community.
The tariff war between the United States and Canada has started affecting the income of business owners in both Canada and the United States. The question that remains is, will the tariff war end, or will it continue?
Now, in a big boost for homegrown defense manufacturing, HAL has partnered with Safran Helicopter Engine to manufacture the next generation helicopter engine called Aravali. Bringing the latest on this, we have Dipanshu joining us from the newsroom.
Thank you so much, Aditi. And as you rightly mentioned, this is a joint venture between Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Safran Helicopter Engines to make a joint venture which is named as SAFHAL. Now, this SAFHAL will be responsible for development and production of the engines, next-gen helicopter engines of India, which is Aravali. This Aravali is a turbo shaft engine of 3,500 to 4,000 shaft horsepower class, and will be inducted and has been selected for the India's next generation helicopters, which is 13-ton Indian multi-role helicopters, and its naval variant, which is deck-based multi-role helicopters. This indigenization of engine will give a boost to Atmanirbhar Bharat and self-reliant India towards defense manufacturing as well. It is also expected that it will boost India's MRO capabilities, which is maintenance, repair and overhaul. Over to you, Aditi.
Thank you so much, Dipanshu, for those details. Good news for India as well. Breaking news coming in, more and more details of Nepal flash flood, and this is caught on camera, the panic that transpired during the flash floods that happened in Nepal. You can see the impact, the raw impact of the flash floods on your screens now. This is a CCTV footage recording of the moment the flash flood hit, and how on the India-Nepal border, I beg your pardon, on the India-Nepal border, the impact was witnessed, China-Nepal border, the impact was severely witnessed and caught on CCTV camera. You can see how several cars were swept away in the impact of this flash flood, and you can see bridges were swept away. The connectivity has been hampered in the area. 5 districts are on high alert, with more and more districts also coming in to the alert mode as well. You can see how the flash flood was caught on camera at the China-Nepal border. More visuals coming in of the same. And this is the moment in the morning when the flash flood struck, impacting several areas of Nepal, and several areas in India are also on high alert, with 105 Indian tourists are currently missing. Nepal Prime Minister Balendra Shah has chaired a meeting regarding the safety, rescue and operations that are underway in Nepal. The situation currently is that focus is on rescue operations that are underway in the area. This is the Tibet-Nepal border that the visual is coming from. And you can see how people were running helter-skelter to the safer locations, but could not reach to a safe location in time. And the flash flood had swept away many humans. The lives are in danger, but the rescue operation is underway. The Nepal authorities are on full high alert and working towards rescuing more and more individuals trapped in these flash floods. You can see how people, when they got the hint of the flash flood, they were trying to run to a safer passage, a safe location, but on camera you can see the aftermath and scary visuals of those who were just not able to reach to that location, and several buildings have been damaged. Communication has been lost in several parts of Nepal where flash floods struck, and buildings have collapsed. Cars have been swept away. People are missing. 105 Indian nationals are also missing who were in Nepal at this time for holidays, for vacations. They are also reportedly missing now. The numbers are startling as the Nepal authorities continue to work towards safer management of the people who have been impacted. But the government has also issued warning for other areas to remain on high alert, whereas the situation is also being monitored in India as well. You can see several river banks were submerged after the intensity of the flash floods was recorded to be severely high, and Rasuva is one location where it is the most devastating, and the flash floods has made the highest impact. This is also the visual of Rasuva, where a sudden surge in water flow was witnessed after the glacier and the barrage that could not handle the water pressure broke, after which several rivers swelled, the banks were submerged, and people in the low-lying area were hurriedly shifted to safer locations. But so far, the authorities are still carrying out rescue and relief operations and asking people to stay put wherever they are and not venture out. Trucks, you can see how they were swept away. The debris is all over the place. In 5 districts is where the most impact is visible, and the flash floods are still being, the damage is being assessed, and the rescue operation is still underway. Slipping into a very short break, but right after the break, we will tell you what big Operation Sindoor revelation has been done by former CDS General Anil Chauhan. He has confirmed India hit Kirana Hills. We'll tell you lots more after the break.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
प्योर मसाला।
ايش عملتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
ايوه بعض هنا.
رموا 4 صواريخ، وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانة ونازحين للأسف كلهم اتدمروا. للأسف الحين هم بلا مأوى. هم هالوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني، أو كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بأمان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا، بدنا نحس. هاي بيت، هاي بيت، شايفين كيف؟ هاي هذا البيت تدمر واحنا واقفين وبنتكلم بسبب القصف اللي كان قبل شويه.
بين الطفل بتاكل يجيها طلق في ظهرها يقتلها.
Right after the break, we will tell you what's happening in the VVIP mindset case from Madhya Pradesh, where a fire brigade truck was used to wash BJP MLA's car.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink by more than 5%. Imagine what means for an ordinary family. Every trip to the market costs more. Every saving loses value, and the national currency continues to slide. In Tehran, people are reportedly lining up to buy US dollars, desperately trying to protect whatever savings they have left. One 73-year-old Iranian summed up the public mood bluntly. There is no hope for a deal and a peace. And now comes the next blow. The Trump administration is preparing another sanctions package, including possible secondary sanctions against countries that continue doing business with Iran. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has argued that the pressure campaign has pushed the Iranian economy into unprecedented distress. And there is another major development. The United Arab Emirates, traditionally one of Iran's biggest trading partners and a major source of imports, has
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha, and it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Big Operation Sindhu revelations. Former CDS General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, a prime nuclear hub in Pakistan. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani opposes the upcoming event at Madison Square Garden chaired by RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered an attack on Hezbollah. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former CDS Chauhan clarifies, unless Mecca Pact explicitly states it's not against India, it must be assumed that it's against India. Government fire truck being used to wash BJP MLA Ram Nivas Shah's private vehicle at his residence, raising serious questions over government resources misuse. Flash flood sweeps through Nepal's Rasuwa, damaging markets and hydropower projects and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. 105 Indian tourists are missing. And the biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail, Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. Good evening, welcome to Republic. I am Ridhima. Top focus story on the Nepal floods. At least 105 Indian tourists are among 291 foreign nationals who are reportedly missing after the flash flood hit Nepal's Rasuwa area, as per Nepal Tourism Board. The pictures on the screen show the flash flood. According viewers to the preliminary details provided by tourism entrepreneurs, those unaccounted for include 105 Indian nationals, 12 from the United Kingdom, 4 from South Africa, 17 from Malaysia, and 3 from US. 1 each from Australia and Netherlands have also been reportedly unaccounted for. These are deadly flash floods. The visuals can be seen on the screen. And as breaking news coming in, viewers, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, has expressed concern over severe flooding in Nepal's Bhotekoshi River. He's prayed to Lord Pashupati for everyone's safety. He's also warning of a possible rise in the Gantak Narayani River levels in Maharganj and Kushinagar. He's directed local administration to stay fully alert and make all preparations. Listen in. And this is the big story coming in on the Nepal floods, where we've just seen the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, try and make all the necessary arrangements and express concern over the Nepal floods. The Indian authorities also trying to ensure that in these floods, all the people who are unaccounted for, including 105 Indians, are rescued. I also want to tell our viewers, these are massive flash floods that hit Nepal. The rescue operations are on. Viewers, a big revelation has been made by former CDS Anil Chauhan. on the inside details of Operation Sindoor. Speaking at Vimarsh, the event on Operation Sindoor and its aftermath at the Vivekananda International Foundation, Chauhan made astonishing revelations and said Indian loitering missions were sent to search for radars around Sargodha. He shared key insights on Operation Sindoor, India's military strategy, the decisions that shaped the operation, from revealing what Prime Minister Modi told CDS before the operations to explaining its 3 phases, India's preparedness and exit strategy. Chauhan details why India gained the upper hand. He discusses Pakistan's response, its difficulties in looking at the damages, and the key lessons that it withdrew from Operation Sindoor.
There was a small episode about what I think Air Marshal Bharti was asked, that Kirana Hills episode. I think I'll clarify this. At occasions it's been asked whether Kirana Hills were hit or not. That's where their nuclear facilities are there. And with Bharti had rightly clarified that we did not target Kirana Hills. I can maybe given kind of an explanation. Before those strikes, we had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha. And Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha. And it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit one of those hills. So that could be one of the reasons as to what people asked. Yes, because Pakistani media also showed some kind of images in which there was smoke coming out from Kirana Hills, and they were asking. Next is a new normal. You heard about this new normal, which the Prime Minister has said that there'll be talks and terror will not go together, blood and water will not flow together, will not tolerate cross-border terrorism, and will make no distinction between perpetrators and their handlers, and then will not be blackmailed or by nuclear blackmail.
And viewers, this is the big news coming in. India hit Kirana Hills. Major General Sudhakarji is going to be joining me, strategic affairs and defense expert. But I want to tell you exactly what it means when we say that India hit Kirana Hills. It means this was one of the big setbacks that was given to Pakistan. He says, Anil Chauhan, CDS of that time had said, Kirana is where their nuclear facilities were. General Chauhan says loitering missions were seen to search for radars around Sargodha. Kirana itself says it must have come and hit one of those hills, he says. So very, very clearly, before those strikes, there was loitering missions at Sargodha that were seen. Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha, he says. Let me go across to my defense expert, Major General Sudhakarji, strategic affairs and defense expert who's joining us. Namaste, sir. The big question today, which we are asking, the former CDS now says the script says there were development proven early, Chinese involvement in Pakistan nukes was there. What evidence is clearly showing that Chinese involvement was also there in this?
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking me for your show. My take on the whole issue is it must be understood by the common public that there are some exchange of information about the sensitive installations that take place between India and Pakistan. This is with regard to the nuclear installations and the civilian nuclear facility as also the military ones. To the best of my research and study, Kirana Hill does not exist as a declared nuclear site as submitted by Pakistan. So if a stray loiter ammunition has gone and hit, what difference does it make? I think the Chief of Defence Staff, the former Chief of Defence Staff, he is entitled, reserved to make a statement on that issue. I think that's a very well-deserved answer. Now, coming to the central point of the question which you have asked, yes, it is quite possible. Rather, I would say that Chinese hand is very much was there. It is very much there now, even now. But it is important to understand what was existing in Kirana Hill. That is very, very important. They have had clandestine activities in '83. Pakistan has had clandestine and undeclared activities in 90s, and subsequently they have had the cold testing process. That's a very unique and special kind of a test which is conducted under GARBs. So therefore, Pakistan has been carrying out very sensitive and undeclared tests close to Sargodha. And so therefore, even if a stray loiter ammunition has gone and hit, I think there is no harm. So I hope that answers your question, unless you have anything more specific to ask.
So the larger question that I also want to ask you then is, the former CDS, like you were mentioning, has also said India sent loitering missions around Sargodha. You were speaking about it. They were searching for radars. What does this also tell us about the intelligence that India had before the strikes, sir?
Well, being a retired veteran of a military man, I'll go by the official version which has come out till now. And we had a very senior Air Force officer, Air Marshal Bharti, who gave the statement. We never targeted Kirana. And if at all something has gone and hit, well, it is the explanation is given best by the former CDS. But having said that, let me also demystify or mystify a lot of hearsay which went up the air from Pakistan side. They showed a missile having gone and hit the mouth of a tunnel, and the fumes and the smoke which was emanating, and subsequently from the radar. You see, the fact remains, whether it is a missile or a stray loiter ammunition, Kirana has been hit inadvertently or advertently. I wish government of India had openly stated and made a remark that yes, we have hit it because that was under our scanner and target. But that is not true. The truth has been given out by the public servant who was in the uniform, and further been amplified and clarified by the former CDS, General Anil Chauhan. But in addition to that, all I would say is that Pakistan would have done better by having declared this particular site in the formal declaration, which takes place, to the best of my memory, sometime once in a year, maybe February or March. And there is no point hiding such things from the neighbor. If they keep hiding, if they retain the authority to hide, then the neighbor, in case of adverse situation, retains the authority to, send unaccountable loiter ammunition going and hitting the tunnel. So this kind of game cannot go. It's not a cat and mouse kind of a game here. It's a very sensitive thing that they're dealing with. It will do good to Pakistan to come out in the open rather than helping them to create a situation to call the nuclear bluff. It is always better that Pakistan comes out on board and declares every such hidden kind of sensitive installations with India, so that next time a mishap of this nature, maybe inadvertently, does not take place. That is what is the matter.
Absolutely.
Which is important. Otherwise, it may create a mayhem. And if you remember, after the Kirana Hill was hit, Pakistan was absolutely in a melee, and there was an evacuation of large number of Pakistanis from the surrounding areas.
Yes.
And we are witness to the consignment of boron coming from all the way from Nile River.
Yes.
And one flight after another. So it's a very dangerous situation. It will not only put the people of Pakistan in serious danger, but also India, by virtue of being the easterly kind of a location, we also are vulnerable to get the western winds coming from Pakistan side. So both the countries would do well to put measures in place so that these kind of accidents are prevented.
And Major General Sudhakar ji, as I thank you for being with us, the big question also, Kirana Hills now tells us about India's military capabilities and the message India wanted to send to Pakistan. I thank you for being with us and giving us and enlightening us with that perspective. There is more breaking news coming in. We shift back focus to the Nepal floods, where at least, viewers, 105 Indian tourists are among the 291 foreign nationals reported missing after flash floods hit Nepal's Rasuwa area, as per the Nepal Tourism Board. We're showing you pictures. The cause of the flash floods remains unclear. The Nepal's flood forecasting division said it's unlikely to have been caused by heavy rain in Rasuwa. imagery shows the significant rainfall on the Tibetan side. And we've also had the UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath speak about how the borders are on high alert. Let me go across to my guest joining me on the story, Gajendra Budatkhoki, Nepal journalist who's joining us. गजेंद्र जी, मैं सिचुएशन ग्राउंड की आपसे जानना चाहती हूँ. कम से कम 400 लोग यहाँ पे मिसिंग हैं, 16 डेथ्स हो चुकी हैं, मैसिव फ्लैश फ्लड्स नेपाल में हुई हैं, रसुवा एरिया में. कुछ बताइए हमें कि वहाँ पे ये डिजास्टर कैसे हुआ और अभी क्या वहाँ पे राइट नाउ क्या हो रहा है?
ये आपने जितना भी संख्या बताया है उतना ही मिसिंग नहीं है. किसी एमपी ने आज मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट पे पार्लियामेंट पे क्या बताया था कि तकरीबन 6 से 8,000 लोग अभी मिसिंग हैं और इनमें से बहुत सारे जो आपने संख्या बताए वो सिर्फ फॉरेन 384 ये टूरिस्ट थे और उनमें से 100 से 105 आपने 105 बताया, उससे ज्यादा एनआरआई भी थे, 37 एनआरआई भी थे. उनके साइड संख्या जो बता दे तो तकरीबन ये हो जाता है 140 से आसपास में आसपास के इंडियन और एनआरआई इसमें मिसिंग है. ये 2015 का जो नेपाल का जो अर्थक्वेक था, अर्थक्वेक के बाद में सबसे बड़ा प्राकृतिक प्रकोप है, नेचुरल डिजास्टर है. 6 से 7 जो सिटीज है, एस्टैब्लिश्ड सिटीज है, वो सिटीज टोटली डिवास्ट हो गए हैं. तकरीबन 3,000 से 4,000 फैमिली डिस्प्लेस हो गए हैं और अभी तक नेपाल गवर्नमेंट ने कोई फॉर्मल इंफॉर्मेशन वो भी कलेक्ट कर रहा है, चूंकि 44 जो सिक्योरिटी पर्सनल्स है वो भी इनमें से मिसिंग है. इसीलिए नेपाल गवर्नमेंट भी अभी प्रिलिमिनरी एस्टिमेट्स में ही भर पड़ रही है. ये नेपाल के लिए इस 2015 की जो अर्थक्वेक थी उससे ज्यादा उससे बड़ी कहूंगा मैं, क्योंकि इसका एक ही इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा, इससे फूड सिक्योरिटी का भी इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा. तकरीबन 2 खरब आपका जो इंडियन कैलकुलेशन के विधि से बता दे तो 2,000 करोड़, उससे ज्यादा हो जाएगा. 2 लाख करोड़ से ज्यादा की भौतिक क्षति हुई है. 2 बिगेस्ट ब्रिजेस ढह गई है, उसमें से बहुत सारे गांवों का, बहुत सारे सिटीज का संपर्क टूट गई है. मेन हाईवे में अभी नेपाल गवर्नमेंट ने जो पृथ्वी हाईवे बोलते हैं उसमें इसी वजह से अभी व्हीकल्स का आवागमन रोक दिया गया है. नेपाल गवर्नमेंट तदारुकता के साथ अभी रेस्क्यू में जुटी हुई है और अभी तक की अपडेट यही है.
और ये बहुत ही, मैं चाहूंगी गजेंद्र जी आप हमारे साथ रहें. व्यूअर्स, these are terrifying scenes that are coming from Rahul Gandhi. There are devastating flash floods that we are seeing on the screen. He's correctly telling us, Gajendra ji, the Nepali journalist who's now joining us live on the story, that the numbers could be much more than we are seeing. We're only talking about the tourist numbers. The scale and the force of the flood is clearly terrifying, as we can see on the screens. And viewers, this is also very careful to understand where it actually started. So मैं गजेंद्र जी आपसे यही पूछना चाहूंगी, नेपाल के बोटे कोशी टिबेटन साइड एरिया में ये अलर्ट शुरू हुआ था त्रिशूली बेसन पे. बोटे कोशी से त्रिशूली, फिर नारायणी, फिर गंडक और शायद ये बिहार की तरफ भी जा सकता है. अभी रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशंस अंडर वे हैं, आपने सरकार से बात की है, अभी वो क्या क्या रेस्क्यू रिहैबिलिटेशन की कोशिश कर रहे हैं?
अभी नेपाल के तीनों जो सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज है, नेपाल पुलिस, सशस्त्र पुलिस, आर्म्ड पुलिस फोर्स एंड ये जो नेपाल आर्मी, तीनों को यूज किया गया है. और उसके बाद जो भी गवर्नमेंट का इंस्टीट्यूशन है जो भी परिचालन कर सकते हैं, तीनों जिले का जो सीडीओ के मातहत में जो जितने भी गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज है, सारे के सारे इसी रेस्क्यू और पुनर्स्थापना के अभी तो पहला प्रायोरिटी तो रेस्क्यू है. रेस्क्यू के बाद में they are carrying to Kathmandu or nearby the hospitals for the treatments. और अभी तक 100 से 36 से ज्यादा 36 से ज्यादा को काठमांडू लाया गया है उपचार के लिए और ट्रीटमेंट के लिए, पर इतना ही संख्या नहीं है। बहुत सारी क्षति हुई है, बहुत सारी क्षति हुई है। 2 मेजर सिटीज जो बेत्रावती बोलते हैं, जो त्रिशूली रिवर के किनारे में था, वो टोटली डिवास्ट हो गए हैं। उसमें कितने लोग थे, कितने लोग उसमें से मिसिंग है, अभी तक किसी को पता नहीं है। और जो धादिंग के दो और मेजर सिटीज है, वहां भी कोई बड़ी संख्या में हताहती हुई है। ये नेपाल गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से अभी जो रेस्क्यू का कार्य चल रहा है, मुझे लगता है शाम तक और या कल तक ही डिटेल आ जाएगी कि कितने लोग मिसिंग है, कितने लोग इसमें से अपने जान गंवा बैठे हैं, कितना क्षति हुआ है। पर ये तो मैंने पिछले बार भी कहा था कि 2015 का जो अर्थक्वेक था, अर्थक्वेक में तो सिर्फ भवनें ढही थी, 10,000 लोग का उनमें जान गई थी। यहाँ तो जान जाने की बात नहीं है, भवनें ढहने की बात नहीं है, ब्रिजेस ढहने की बात नहीं है। जो फ्लड आई है, उससे सारा खेतों में ये भर गया है, गार्बेजेस भर गया है, उसमें से सारे प्रोडक्शन अब इम्पैक्ट होगा। और इससे नेपाल में ये तीनों जिले में अभी खाद्य संकट का भी, फूड सिक्योरिटी का भी बिगर इशू हो जाएगा। इसलिए नेपाल गवर्नमेंट अभी रेस्क्यू में जुट रही है। हम अपेक्षा करते हैं और हम सारे नेपाली नागरिकों, नेपाल गवर्नमेंट को भी थैंक्स बोलते हैं कि इन्होंने जो तदारुकता के साथ जो रेस्क्यू में अपना सारा शक्ति को, नेशनल फोर्स को यूज किया है। इसमें
जी, मैं चाहूंगी आप हमारे साथ बने रहें। I also want to say there is more breaking news coming in on the story, viewers. In view of the flood threat in Bihar due to the heavy rainfall in Nepal, Union Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to Bihar Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary over the phone. The Home Minister assured the state government of all possible assistance to deal with the potential crisis. The National Disaster Response Force is being mobilized to deal with any emergency situation. So India is on alert. Just a short while ago, we saw a reaction coming in from Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath. Let me go across to Saurav Yadav. He's joining us from Nepal. सौरभ, हमें बताइए कि क्या हो रहा है। बहुत ही डेविस्टेटिंग, टेरिफाइंग विजुअल्स आ रहे हैं जो फ्लड फ्यूरी हिमालय में, नेपाल में देखी गई है। फ्लड्स ने बहुत सारे विलेजेस ही ड्राउन हो गए हैं।
जी, आपको हम बताएं, नेपाल का अभी अब तक का इतिहास में सबसे ज्यादा क्षति होने वाला ये बाढ़ का तबाह है। हम आपको जानकारी दे रहे हैं। ये अब तक 16 जना का डेट हो चुका है नेपाल में, 16 आर डेटेड इन नेपाल। उसके बाद हम आपको जानकारी देंगे भौतिक क्षति 2 खरब से ज्यादा। नेपाल का भौतिक पूर्वाधार मंत्री सुनील लम्साल ने हमको जानकारी दिया है 2 खरब से हाराहारी से ज्यादा भौतिक क्षति हुआ है नेपाल में। 4 से 31 मेगावाट बिजली आयोजना जो है नेपाल में, जो विभिन्न का ठाम पे जो बिजली आयोजना है 4 से 31 मेगावाट, वो भी पूर्ण रूप में क्षतिग्रस्त हो चुका है। नेपाल के 29 पुल और 40 किलोमीटर सड़क जो नेपाल का राष्ट्रीय राजमार्ग का सड़क है, वो सहायक राजमार्ग का सड़क है, वो बाढ़ ने पूर्ण रूप से क्षत विध्वस्त कर दिया है। अब तक 16 जना की भी डेट हो चुका है। हम आपको जानकारी देता है, रसुआ क्षेत्र में 3 से 84 पर्यटक संपर्क विहीन हो चुका है, जो नेपाल के भी है, इंडियन भी है, ऑस्ट्रेलियन है, विभिन्न देश का जो पर्यटक नेपाल आते हैं वो भी संपर्क विहीन हो चुका है। 3 से 84 पर्यटक जो नेपाल आए थे, गोसाईकुंड में गए हुए भी पर्यटक संपर्क विहीन हो चुका है। आज नेपाल की संसद में सरकार ने क्या बोला है? भूकंप के बाद हिम पहिरो गएको प्रारंभिक सूचना छ। यो संसद में नेपाल के तरफ से बोला हुआ है। अब तक का लेटेस्ट अपडेट क्या है? प्रारंभिक जो हम लोग देख रहे हैं, लेटेस्ट अपडेट देख रहे हैं, 1000-2000 आदमी मिसिंग है
Ji, bilkul. Saurav, thank you for giving us those details. We'll come back to you as well as Gajendra, who's also joining us on the top focus story. The big news coming in also, Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to the Bihar Chief Minister to ensure that any potential crisis is managed. Much more after a short break, where we get you more details of the most devastating floods that have been seen in Nepal.
जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी एवरीडे
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
ايش عملتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट।
अब बताओ स्वाद आया? आया। असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher, and the International Monetary Fund is forecasting
Good evening. Welcome to Republic. Our top focus story is the devastating floods in Nepal, the worst they have seen. Villages have been submerged. There are townships that are seeing a crisis. Several people have died. It's a top focus story that we're tracking right now. Helpline numbers coming in. India on guard. Our Home Minister also spoken to the Bihar Chief Minister to ensure all assistance. A look at our top headlines.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha, and it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Big Operation Sindhu revelations. Former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force striking Kirana Hills, the prime nuclear hub in Pakistan. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani opposes the upcoming event at Madison Square Garden chaired by RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered an attack on either of them. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former CDS General Chauhan clarifies unless Mecca Pact explicitly states it's not against India, it must be assumed it is against India. Government fire trucks are being used to wash BJP MLA's private vehicle. There are questions being raised on government resources misuse. Our big headline: flash floods sweep through Nepal's Rasuwa, damaging markets and villages, hydropower projects. Authorities warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River, 105 tourist Indians missing. The biggest exclusive on Republic from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. Viewers, Nepal's devastating floods. At least 105 Indian tourists are among the 295 foreign nationals missing after flash floods hit Nepal's Rasuwa area, as Nepal Tourism Board had said this. According to the preliminary details provided by the tourism entrepreneurs, they are unaccounted for 105 Indian nationals, 12 from UK, 4 from South Africa and others. The sudden surge in the Botekoshi River struck the Rasuvagadi Timure area at around 9 a.m. local time. It affected Rasuwa as well as parts of neighbouring Nuvakot and Dhading districts. I want to go across to the reporters who are joining us on the story. We have Saurav and Gajendra joining us from Nepal. Saurav, we are showing you pictures of rescue operations underway. We're also now telling you the Indian government has said there will be help that will be sent right now. The army and the private helicopters are being mobilized in Nepal. Shelter, food and essential services are being prioritized. Villages have been hit there. Emergency numbers are coming out. There's power and telecom that's also hit. The big question here, where did this start? What are you picking up? Rescue और rehabilitation में आपको क्या सरकार अभी क्या कह रही है? उनकी मीटिंग चली है. अभी वो क्या-क्या स्टेप्स लेने वाले हैं?
आपने मुझे पूछा और सौरभ को पूछा।
जी, आपसे मैंने बात की।
जी, मेरा नाम गजेंद्र है। अभी नेपाल गवर्नमेंट ने जो ये 3 जिलाएं हैं, रसुआ, धादिङ, कि जो रसुआ, नुवाकोट और धादिङ, ये तीनों जिला को विपद संकटग्रस्त घोषणा कर दिया है और होम मिनिस्टर को सारे अथॉरिटी दे दिया है कि कैबिनेट ने जितने भी सिक्योरिटी मोबिलाइजेशन हो, जितने भी हेलीकॉप्टर्स मोबिलाइजेशन हो, प्राइवेट सेक्टर मोबिलाइजेशन हो, उनको सारा राइट्स दे दिया गया है। आपको अभी स्टैटिस्टिक्स अपडेट करा दूं, अभी तक 88 लोगों को हेलीकॉप्टर से उद्धार किया गया है। उनमें से 13 बहुत सारे जख्मी थे, उनके उपचार के लिए काठमांडू लाया गया है। 79 टोटल में 79 जो सिक्योरिटी पर्सन मिसिंग है। उसके दूसरा 26 बैंक स्टाफ्स जो रसुआगढ़ी में थे, टिमुरे में थे, स्यापुरबेसी में और बेतरावती बाजारों में। ये 3 मेजर सिटीज जो टोटली डेवास्ट हो गया है, पूरी तरह से मिट्टी में मिल गया है। वहां कार्यरत, वहां के बैंकों में रहे कार्यरत 8 बैंक का 26 स्टाफ्स भी मिसिंग है। और नेपाल गवर्नमेंट अभी इसके लिए जो रेस्क्यू के लिए जो जितने भी सोर्सेस चाहिए, और अभी ताजा खबर क्या मिला है कि नेपाल गवर्नमेंट ने एनजीओ, जो नेपाल के एनजीओ है 36,000 से ज्यादा है, रेड क्रॉस सहित सारे एनजीओ को मोबिलाइज करने के लिए बताया और निर्देश दिया गया है। जैसे आपने अभी कुछ देर पहले बताया था कि जो गंडक बैराज है उसमें नेपाल और इंडिया दोनों तरफ से पूरी सतर्कता है बरती गई।
Gajendra ji, I request you to just stay with us for a moment. I'm also going to go across to senior advocate from the Nepal Supreme Court, Mr. Dinesh Tripathi, who's joining us. But before that, viewers, I just want to play out this breaking news coming in. We've also been told that relief is being sent amid the major devastating floods in Nepal. India has sent relief to its neighboring country. It's a massive flood that's ravaging Nepal, and now India is sending relief to the country. This is the big news that we are breaking right now. As I'm getting guests here, remember, 8 already killed in the massive flash floods is what I'm told. I want to first come to get a sense also now from the senior advocate, Mr. Dinesh Tripathi, joining us from the Nepal Supreme Court. So these are the most devastating, deadly Nepal flash floods. What are you thinking now? Is the government coming out? What sort of relief and rehabilitation are they looking at?
So the government should need to work in a war footing, because it's an unprecedented crisis. It was never imagined that this level and crisis of this proportionate will happen in Nepal. So there is a serious environmental causes are there, but it took a large number of human lives and infrastructure, and there is a huge loss of property. So there are several human settlements has been just swept away. Even the district headquarters, they have been swept away. There is approximately 1 dozen hydropowers. It has been totally damaged, and there is a large number of workers are there, staffs are there. They are all missing.
This is the damage that we are looking at very closely. We've been told the latest numbers coming in. Mr. Gajendra is also with us here. Gajendra ji, I then want to ask you,
and how to conduct the rescue operation in effective manner is a really huge, it's a very challenging job. It's one of the most challenging tasks before the government, because there is a road linkage has been totally cut off. Bridges are swept away. There is no road linkages to those affected area. Even the helicopters is very difficult to fly, and there is no place to land. And Nepal has not a large number of even the army is in a difficult situation, because army camps have been also affected by this.
Yes,
so it's really,
and Mr. Tripathi, I'm just interrupting you for a moment. I want you to be with us. Midbud Hoki, also the Nepal journalist, I want you both to be with us. There is a breaking news coming in, and I'm coming back to both of you. Viewers, the breaking news coming in view of the flood threat in Bihar due to the heavy rainfall and floods that have been seen in Nepal. Union Home Minister Amit Shah spoke to the Bihar Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary over the phone. The Home Minister assured the state government of all possible assistance to deal with the potential crisis. NDRF is being mobilized to deal with the emergency situation. I want to go back to my guests on this. Mr. Gajendra, I am hearing, like you were telling us, Many have been killed. There were 384 travelers also there. 291 people are missing. And like Mr. Tripathi is telling us, the government has swung into action, but this is a catastrophic flood. There have been power coms that have been swept away. There was no chance to escape for many. Villages have been swept away. बहुत ही गंभीर images आ रही हैं गजेंद्र जी नेपाल से.
आप लोगों का थोड़ा करेक्शन करा दूं. ये फ्लैश फ्लड नहीं है, ये मड फ्लड है, मड स्लाइड है. सारे के सारे मड स्लाइड के साथ में जो जितने भी डेब्रिज बह गया है भोटेकोशी से, जो आपने बताया था कि चाइना से उद्गम हुआ है. और आपको अभी आपने तो एक ब्रेकिंग बता दी, मैं भी दूसरा ब्रेकिंग बता दूं कि योगी आदित्यनाथ ने महाराजगंज और कुशीनगर के गंडक और नारायणी नदी जो इस फ्लड से ज्यादा इंपैक्ट होंगे, उन्होंने क्या कहा है कि ट्वीट करके कि दोनों नदियों में जलस्तर वृद्धि हो रहा है, इसमें बाढ़ की संभावना है और वहां के स्थानीय प्रशासन को पूर्ण सतर्कता बरतने और आवश्यक तैयारी सुनिश्चित करने के लिए उन्होंने निर्देशन दिया है. ये आपने जितने भी बताया कि नेपाल में हर साल हर 2 वर्ष के बाद में फ्लड्स की और ये जो मडस्लाइड्स की संकट आती रहती है, पर इस वक्त जिस तरह का ये संकट आया है नेपाल में, ये तो सारे डिकेड से मैं तो कहता हूं पिछले 6-7 डिकेडों में सबसे बड़ी इससे हताहती हुई है, इससे ज्यादा क्षति हुई है. और इसका आकलन तो अभी हम कर ही नहीं सकते, कितने लोग इसमें मिसिंग है, कितने लोग मारे गए हैं, कितना आपने आपसे
अभी पता होने की. आप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं. और जो आप कह रहे थे हमारे दर्शकों को, एक बार मैं ये ब्रेकिंग न्यूज कर भी दूं जो मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले की थी. व्यूअर्स, एज आवर गेस्ट विद अस, लेट मी टेल यू, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh Yogi Adityanath has expressed concern over the flooding in Nepal's Bhotekoshi River, and he's also warned of possible rise in the Gandak, Narayani River levels in Maharajganj and Kushinagar. He's directed already the local administration to stay fully alert and make all necessary preparations. This is the news that's also coming in as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh expresses concerns over what's happening over the Nepal floods, but also says has already directions have been passed to the local administration because there are also possible rise in the Gandak Narayani River levels in Maharajganj and Kushinagar. I want to now, after this, go to Mr. Tripathi. Mr. Tripathi, what is the kind of assistance that is coming through now? In such situations, we always see relief and rehabilitation being done by the government and the army. So both have to work in tandem to ensure maximum people can be saved.
So first priority should be how to save the lives. That should be the first priority, because large number of people are looking for rescue. They are looking for help because they have been stranded in several places. So how to rescue them? That need to be the first priority, because at this point we cannot protect the properties. The first priorities need to be protect the human lives who are in a severe threat. So the large number of people who have been stranded, and it requires large number of helicopters, because it's not possible to because there is no road connection is there, and because the road is totally damaged and bridges are totally swept away, so you cannot reach through the roads, so there is no road leakages. So and it has to be a coordinated effort need to be there, and the capacity of the state is very limited to carry out this kind of operation, rescue operation. So the neighboring country, particularly India, the help is very important at this point, because India can help in this situation, because this is a time of crisis, and there has to be how it could be in a best coordinated manner, how can the coordinated rescue operation can be done. So the first step need to be rescue operation. Rehabilitation and relief program shall be the next step, and the people who've been rescued, how to put them into the safe places, and how to provide them a medical assistance, how to provide them a shelter. That is also is critically important. So at this point, only the coordinated and effective rescue operation is the need of the hour, and state has to redouble its effort. Friend like India can also help in this regard, because in this unprecedented crisis is happening in Nepal, and even 3-4 districts are heavily affected by this. Even district headquarters has been totally submerged, totally swept away by this.
And Mr. Tripathi, I'm just once again sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to go and get the latest news coming in. Viewers, the breaking news also coming in. Nepal Prime Minister Balendra Shah has also called a meeting of the National Council for Disaster Risk Reduction and Management regarding the flood that has occurred in Rasuwa this morning. In the meeting that we have pictures of, and I'm going to put them on our screen, meeting held recently at the office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers in Singha Durbar, a briefing was given on the details of the damage caused by the flood, and the Prime Minister has also said all stakeholders should know the next steps, should be ready with the next steps. He's also requested everyone to work with rescue, search and relief of the affected citizens in the flood-affected areas from their places and the time of disaster. And I'm also getting you more breaking news coming in, because this is the question that we were looking at, viewers. The Nepal Army, we have visuals of that which we're going to put out. Nepal Army assist and rescue operations continue in the flood-affected area with the flood-affected people. These are the visuals that have come in of the Nepal Army that is working now round the clock to ensure that maximum people can be rescued from these flood-affected areas. I want to speak over these visuals, and I'd also like to keep those visuals on the screen and go back to Gajendra ji. Gajendra ji, थोड़ी देर पहले आप बता रहे थे कितना ये devastating attack है. India already has extended support. Massive floods ने ravage कर दिया है बहुत सारे हिस्सों को नेपाल में. अब कुछ मदद मिल रही है नेपाल आर्मी से. नेपाल के प्रधानमंत्री ने भी इसके बारे में बात की है.
ये अभी का मीटिंग नहीं है. कल सुबह ही जब ये डिवास्टेटिंग ये जो प्राकृतिक प्रकोप हुआ था, उसके बाद में ये NDRNA का मीटिंग हुआ था. आपको अभी एक अपडेट बता दूं. अभी एक अपडेट क्या है कि नेपाल का जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वेदर है, उसने अपनी चाइनीज काउंटर पार्ट के साथ अभी लाइव मीटिंग किया है. जो मीटिंग किया है ये भी लास्ट ईयर भी इसी तरह का फ्लैश फ्लड जो चाइना की जो तिब्बत से उद्गम होकर आई थी, उसमें से कुछ बड़ी क्षति हुई थी. और उसके बाद इस साल बहुत ही प्रधानमंत्री को मैं थैंक बोलना चाहूंगा कि उनका जो सक्रियता के बाद में नेपाल के डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वेदर ने चाइना के अपने काउंटर पार्ट से मीटिंग किया है. और चाइनीज काउंटर पार्ट ने क्या बोला है कि अब जितने भी इस तरह का जो हादसा है होता ही है, जो मौसम के कारण से उत्पन्न होता है, उनका सूचना ज्यादा से ज्यादा पहले ही क्विक रिस्पांस के तहत नेपाल को दे दिया जाएगा, उन्होंने बताया. और आपको दूसरी चिंता की बात बता दूं, नेपाल वेदर जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वेदर है, उन्होंने एक ट्वीट किया है कि जो नेपाल में अभी जो ये फ्लैश फ्लड है, उसके बाद में अभी ह्यूज ज्यादा बादल की गतिविधि देखने को मिला है ये उत्तर तिब्बत की ओर में से. और अगर वहां पे फिर से कोई बड़ी बरसात हो जाएगी तो एक अभी भी एक जो लेक है वहां ब्रस्ट होने के कागर पे है. अगर बड़ा वो बरसात हो गई तो फिर से दूसरा कोई हादसा के लिए हादसा हो सकने की जोखिम भी है। इसी तरह से डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ वेदर ने वार्निंग जारी किया है। ये आपको ये 2 अपडेट बता दूं
जी। एंड आई वांट टू स्टे विद आवर गेस्ट मिस्टर Tripathi is also continuing to be with us. This is the top story, the Himalayan horror that we are seeing unfolding, and several people who tried to escape Mr. Tripathi, the deadly Nepal flash floods, they could not. The images of the devastating impact are clear. The Nepal government has swung into action. The Indian government has already said they're sending assistance there. Extensive damage has been there. Several people are missing. What is the need of the hour right now?
So need of the hour is we need coordinated and effective rescue operation. This is one of the unprecedented humanitarian crises. At this point of crisis, all the national and international, particularly from the neighboring country, we need a massive assistance at this point. Because without the, in order to in order to address this humanitarian crisis, coordinated effort, concerted effort is the need of the hour. And Nepal is trying its best to address this situation, but the situation is out of hand because the level of crisis, the level of devastation is unprecedented. Even it's beyond the imagination. Nepal's security force, it was not prepared this level of crisis. It was there is a lack of capacity as well. So, but at this point, the first priority is, there are large number of people who are missing. There are large number of people who are waiting their rescue. So the first priority should be how to rescue the people who are stranded in several places and how to put them into the safe place. And there are so many pilgrimage. The buses, those are also missing. Even the police personnel, there are also large number of police personnel, government officials, they are also missing. So how you can carry out effective and coordinated rescue operation? So that has to be because in the humanitarian crisis, the first priority should be how to save the life. Every life count.
I completely agree with you, Mr. Tripathi and Gajendra ji, for both of you joining us. India extends its support to our neighboring country. We're going to come back to this top focus story. And Gajendra ji, I'll come back to you. We're back after a short break. Sure. Go ahead.
I will believe, but I will give you a breaking news for Indian viewers. The Embassy of India just issued 2 hotline numbers. Yes. Please note it down or scroll down 98513.
Yeah, it's already, sir. We already have the numbers on our screen. We were looking at them. We've already got them. Thank you for that. But my prayers and wishes for the people of Nepal. India is offering its assistance. This is the top focus story, which we are back with after a short break. Devastating floods in Nepal. Much more on that. Stay with us.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
ايش عملتي يا حبيبتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
ايوه باص كده
رموا 4 صواريخ، وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانة ونازحين للاسف كلهم تدمروا. للاسف العين هم بلا مأوى، هم الوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني، او كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بأمان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا، بدنا نحس هاي بيت هاي بيت.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ।
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Iran's economy is staring at a fresh shock. The Iranian rial has crashed to a new record low, hitting 2.02 million rial to $1 in market trading. And the timing is significant. Washington is preparing to unveil another round of sanctions, promising to tighten the economic screws on Tehran even further. Donald Trump has already declared on social media, Iran is completely collapsing. But here is the big question, is Iran really collapsing, or is Tehran using the Strait of Hormuz to run its economic weakness into global pressure point? For ordinary Iranians, the currency crash is not just number flashing on a trading screen. It is hitting the kitchen table, it is hitting savings, and it is hitting the cost of survival. Iran was already struggling with a double-digit inflation and negative economic growth before the latest phase of the conflict. But months of war, previous sanctions, and growing international isolation have pushed the pressure to another level. The numbers tell a brutal story. Since the war began, rice prices have reportedly risen by around 60%. Beef prices are more than 150% higher. And the International Monetary Fund is forecasting that Iran's economy could shrink.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Flash floods sweep through Nepal's Rasuva, damaging markets and hydropower projects and prompting authorities to warn communities downstream along the Trishuli River. 105 Indian tourists also missing. Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to Bihar Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary amid deadly Nepal floods, assured the state of all possible assistance.
We had sent in a lot of loiter ammunitions at Sargodha, and Kirana Hills is about 10 kilometers north of Sargodha. So the loiter ammunition is looking for radars which are in around Sargodha, and it's got a lifetime, means time. It will loiter for about 2 hours, and once it doesn't find a target, then it comes down and hits somewhere. It must have come and hit, one of those hills.
Revelation on Operation Sindoor. The Kirana Hills truth is out. Former Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan confirms Indian Air Force struck Kirana Hills, the prime nuclear hub of Pakistan. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani opposes the event at Madison Square Garden chaired by RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. Targets Bhagwat.
Pakistan has always been seeking security in pacts and alliances, and attack on any one country would be considered as an attack on either of them. So I think that has got major security implications for India.
Former Chief of Defence Staff General Chauhan clarifies that unless Mecca Pact explicitly states that it is not against India, it must be assumed that it is against India. It's the biggest exclusive on Republic TV from inside Pakistan's Adiala jail. Imran Khan's closest aide speaks to Republic TV. A very warm welcome. We was watching Republic TV. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. And the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has spoken to Nepalese Prime Minister Balin Shah and conveyed his condolences on the loss of lives due to the floods, the severe flooding in Nepal that has claimed several lives, many others missing. In fact, 105 Indians are also missing. PM Modi also extended all possible humanitarian assistance and relief. Government of India sources tell us that India is sending aid to Nepal for the floods, for flood relief operations. You can see the severity of the flash floods and how the rescue operations are underway right now. And India will also be sending relief material to Nepal. And that is the breaking news we have right now. It's a horrible situation there. We was in Nepal. If you see the fury of the floods in Nepal, which has also affected the bordering state of India, Bihar. Bihar is on high alert, and flood is expected to hit, the flood water is expected to hit Bihar also this evening. So preparations are being made on that as well. And we have Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of Nepal, Mr. Ditesh Tripathi, joining us on the broadcast for more. Mr. Tripathi, thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV at this hour. If you could just surprise us with the situation, sir, as you're live from Kathmandu.
Yes.
So if you could just tell us what is the situation like, how severe this flood is, and an update as to how many people have been trapped and affected.
This is an unprecedented humanitarian crisis which happened in Nepal. It took large number of precious lives and large number of and huge destruction of property, infrastructure, multiple human settlements has been totally devastated. A large number of hydropower projects have been totally destroyed, and roads and bridges are totally damaged and destroyed. And large number of people are waiting to be rescued. They are in a very desperate situation. there is a lack of effective response, humanitarian response. Government is there is a total chaotic situation, and government is also confused how to respond, how to carry out effective humanitarian operation at this point of humanitarian crisis. So situation is a very difficult, it's very problematic, and there is a crisis is there, and so it's really heartbreaking situation. Um, More than police personnel, they are also missing. Pilgrimages are also missing. The whole human settlement has been swept away, and even the district headquarters, there is a missing link between the police headquarters, police, large number of military personnel and police personnel are also missing. This point, Indian tourist pilgrimages are also missing. Tourist buses are also missing. A lot of pedestrian, who are they are also missing. So it's really it's a devastating, heartbreaking situation here in Nepal. 3-4 districts have been severely affected, like Raswa, Dhading, in Nuwakot. These are heavily affected districts, and there is because the flood has come to the Bhote Kosi from the Tibet, and like settlement like Bidur, settlement like Timure, Dhunche Besi, Sapru Besi, all it is swept away. So at this point, it's hard to imagine what is the exact number of human casualty. At this point, it is hard to calculate, but it's a huge. The number is huge. It is it is one of the most unprecedented crises in the contemporary Nepal, and how to deal with the situation is really problematic. We have a limited number of helicopters. Helipads are also swept away. So how to land helicopters? That's also problematic. Roads linkages are totally breakdown. Bridges are swept away. So it's hard to carry out the rescue operation. The first priority should be how to save the precious human life, and then how to carry out effective and coordinated rescue operation at this point of time. That has to be the number one priority. So India has also shown its willingness to help in this humanitarian crisis. That's a very positive gesture from Indian side, because at this point of crisis, humanitarian crisis, there has to be coordinated, concerted, and effective rescue operation is the need of the hour. So it's not happen automatically. It required a lot of coordinated actions. So from the Nepal side also, Nepali military personnel, police personnel, and armed police force, they also in a concerted, coordinated manner, they need to carry out rescue operation. So first priority should be carry out the rescue operation, and how to put them into the safe places, how to provide them food, shelter, and medical assistance. So that's the immediate requirement at this point of time.
Devastating.
Yes.
Right. It is completely devastating, sir. Just stay with us. We're just showing those visuals out from different locations of Nepal, where we've seen the severity of the situation. You can see how this sudden surge actually sweeps away villages, it sweeps away houses. We've seen buildings collapsing like a pack of cards. And in the meantime, we're getting in breaking updates Prime Minister has spoken to Nepalese Prime Minister Balin Shah, his Nepalese counterpart. And you see this fresh visual coming in. Tragically devastating visual. Tragically dramatic visual. The building just vanishes in this surge of water, surge of flow of water that is extremely furious, sweeps away everything. This is the situation, viewers, and as Mr. Pratyabati was telling us, it is unprecedented. We've seen tragedy, the Nepal earthquake killed thousands. Now we see this flash flood where at least 105 Indians are missing is what we know so far. India extending all possible support to Nepal. And these are floods ravaging Nepal. 105 Indian tourists are missing. Sir, Mr. Tripathi. Mr. Tripathi, well, what we understand is that even there are many tourists, foreigners who are also missing from different countries, maximum number from India, of course, the neighboring country. The Indian embassy is in touch for rescue operations as well. And there's also a threat in the bordering state of Nepal as well. I beg your pardon, neighboring state of Bihar as well. Mr. Tripathi. We have lost the connection with Mr. Dinesh Tripathi from Nepal. We'll just play out more visuals, viewers, in the meantime, as we see this different locations which have witnessed this flood fury, deadly floods there in Nepal. And as you see, yes, Mr. Tripathi.
Yeah, multiple human settlement has been damaged, and it is hard to, imagine the exact number of human casualty at this point because there is no proper data and there is no mechanism to, to calculate the exact number, exact casualty. Since, it happens all of a sudden, even the Department of Weather could not foresee it. And so there was no prior warning and nothing. And so there was no preparedness at the part of, local population. And even the Chinese side also, Tibet side also, there is a huge, devastation because I saw the visuals that the custom office has been totally swept away. And, now all the, transportation has been stopped. Telephones has been also, landlines also disrupted. So there is no proper communication channels. So there is a total breakdown of the administration and the situation over there. So it's really, it's a really huge and unprecedented humanitarian crisis. And how to deal with this situation? Nepal need to think and mobilize all its resources, all these, resources at this point to save the lives of the population, lives of the people. At this point, there has to be, there is a special unit in Nepal Army, Armed Police Force, and Police Force. They need to, mobilize in a very coordinated manner and concerted manner. And only we can save the lives of the people. There is no road connection. And we see several clippings that people are, asking help to save their life. So it's really heartbreaking situation there. And so at this point, effective humanitarian intervention is a need of the hour.
Right, sir. Mr. Tripathi, we also have Nimesh Jha journalist from Nepal joining us on the broadcast. We also have my colleague Raghavendra joining us. Raghavendra, हम देख रहे हैं बिहार में और उत्तर प्रदेश में भी जो भी नेपाल से सटे हुए राज्य हैं उनमें अलर्ट जारी किया गया है। क्या कुछ कदम उठाए जा रहे हैं? क्या कोई एक समय है जो बताया जा रहा है जहां संभावना है कि ये जो पानी है वो भारत के राज्यों की तरफ भी बढ़ सकता है?
बिल्कुल, देखिए नेपाल जो है वो ऊंचाई पर है, भारत तो जो सीमाएं हैं वो नीचे हैं, तो जाहिर सी बात है ऊपर से जो भी नदियां उफान पे हो रही हैं या लैंडस्लाइड की समस्या आ रही है तो वो उसका प्रभाव भारत में पड़ रहा है। जैसा कि उत्तर प्रदेश के 7 जिले जो हैं वो नेपाल की सीमा पर हैं, साथ ही बिहार लगा हुआ है, बिहार के बाद उधर उत्तराखंड है और भी कुछ राज्य हैं जिनकी छोटी छोटी सीमाएं लगती हैं। तो ऐसे में एक बहुत बड़ा क्षेत्र है जो नेपाल और भारत से डायरेक्ट संपर्क में है। तो ऐसे में वहां जो भी स्थिति बाढ़ की हो रही है उससे भारत की नदियां प्रभावित हो रही हैं, जो लोग नदियों के किनारे रह रहे हैं वह प्रभावित हो रहे हैं। ऐसे में मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ का एक मैसेज भी आया है, उन्होंने कहा कि सीमा पर लोग अलर्ट रहें, भारत के लोग जो है नेपाल इस समय न जाएं और जो भी इससे जुड़े हुए जो एजेंसी है जो कहीं न कहीं राहत बचाव का काम करती है उसको अलर्ट पे रहने के लिए बोला गया है। तो कहीं न कहीं मुख्यमंत्री ने एक निर्देश दे दिया है, मैसेज दे दिया है कि सब लोग अलर्ट पे रहें और नेपाल में जो इस समय प्राकृतिक जो आपदा है वो आ रही है और जिस तरह से वहां पर अचानक लैंडस्लाइड होती है, जिस तरह से वहां पर बाढ़ आती है, कितने लोग लापता हैं, अभी भी उनको रेस्क्यू भी किया जा रहा है, ढूंढा भी जा रहा है। तो कहीं न कहीं इस विषय को लेकर के भारत बिल्कुल गंभीर है। सीमावर्ती जो राज्य हैं, जो जिले हैं, वहां भी इस समय अलर्ट जारी हुआ है। तो कहीं न कहीं भारत इसको लेकर बहुत ही अपनी चीजों को सुदृढ़ रखना चाह रहा है कि जो भारत के लोग हैं वो कहीं न कहीं इस बाढ़ की चपेट में, इस प्राकृतिक आपदा की चपेट में ना आए।
जी, and just stay with us, Raghavendra. We also have Nimesh Jha from Nepal joining us. Nimesh, what is the situation right now? As we speak, we see that the flood fury has ravaged several locations, especially alongside the border.
देखिए, सिचुएशन अभी भी वैसे ही है, बहुत भयावह स्थिति है और धीरे धीरे जानकारी आ रही है। अभी तक लेटेस्ट न्यूज क्या है कि 18 शव बरामद हो चुका है विभिन्न जगह पर, खास करके इफेक्टेड 3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, रसुआ, नुआकोट और धादी। तीनों जिले मिलाकर 18 शव को अभी बरामद किया गया, मिला हुआ है और इसमें अभी भी रेस्क्यू और सर्च का काम चल रहा है। नेपाल आर्मी तदारक के साथ काम कर रही है और इसमें प्रधानमंत्री का भी इंस्ट्रक्शन जा चुका है। पार्लियामेंट में भी होम मिनिस्टर और फॉरेन मिनिस्टर ने बता दिया है और इसमें अब क्या है कि पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का भी एक स्टेटमेंट आया हुआ है कि ये जो नेशनल डिजास्टर है इसको मिलजुल कर हम लोगों को सामना करना है। अभी फिलहाल यही जानकारी है और एक और जानकारी है कि 384 पर्यटक जो रसुआ जिले के गोसाई कुंड एक तीर्थ जगह है वहां पर गए हुए थे और भी कुछ वहां पर जो पर्यटकीय स्थल है वहां पर जो गए थे। 384 पर्यटक जो अभी लापता है उन लोगों का कैसा क्या है कुछ जानकारी नहीं मिला हुआ है। और एक बात और सामने आई है कि 280 कंटेनर, रसुआ जिला जो है ना, चीन का जो तिब्बत एरिया है, उनके बॉर्डर एरिया है, रसुआ जिले चीन और तिब्बत और चीन का जो बॉर्डर है वहां पर कस्टम ऑफिस है, वहां पर 280 कंटेनर जो है वो बाढ़ में चला गया है और 300 से ज्यादा जो गाड़ी था जो इंपोर्ट होकर, चाइना से इंपोर्ट होकर नेपाल आ रहा था, नया गाड़ी, वो भी बाढ़ में बह गया है। अभी तक लेटेस्ट जानकारी यही है और इसमें ये बाढ़ आने के बाद अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग का भी घोषणा हो चुका है। भारत और चीन ने भी नेपाल के फॉरेन मिनिस्टर से बात करके क्या चाहिए, वो आप लोगों को किस तरह का ऐड चाहिए, वो भी उस विषय में बातचीत हुई है। और वर्ल्ड बैंक जो 25 अरब का सहयोग देने का घोषणा कर चुका है।
हाँ निमेश जी, इसको जो कि कहा जा रहा है कि बहुत अचानक से ये हुआ, कि कोई इसकी ऐसी प्रेडिक्शन भी नहीं थी, क्या इसको हैवी रेन्स की वजह से नहीं हुआ है? क्योंकि अगर ऐसे में जब ऐसी बारिश होती है, भारी बरसात होती है, तो कहीं ना कहीं अलर्ट जारी भी होता है, तो क्या कारण बताया जा रहा है इस फ्लैश फ्लड का?
देखिए, इसका एक ही कारण अभी तक जो सामने आई हुआ है, जो ग्लेशियर ब्लास्ट के वजह से हुआ है, अभी एक अनुमान किया जा रहा है, क्योंकि जो इफेक्टेड एरिया है उसमें भी हैवी रेन नहीं हुआ है, 2-4 दिन से वहां पर हैवी रेन नहीं हुआ है। तो जो तिब्बत जो है, जो बॉर्डर एरिया है रसवा जिला का, उस एरिया में भी हैवी रेन नहीं हुआ है। तो इसीलिए अचानक से बाढ़ आना, हैवी रेन नहीं होने के बावजूद भी अचानक से बाढ़ आने का अर्थ यही हुआ है, ये होता है कि जो वहां पर ग्लेशियर ब्लास्ट होना चाहिए। तो अभी अनुमान इसी बात से कर रहा है कि वहां पर ग्लेशियर ब्लास्ट होने के बाद जो हिमताल बोला जाता है, तो हिमताल भ्रष्ट हो चुका होगा और इसी वजह से वहां से पानी जो है अपने रास्ते, पानी का जो ह्यूज अमाउंट जो है वो आया होगा। तो अभी तक यही अनुमान है, लेकिन एक्चुअल रीजन, एक्चुअल कारण अभी भी पता नहीं लगा हुआ है। और एक बात ये सामने आई हुई है कि नेपाल का जो जियोलॉजिस्ट है और जो मेट्रोलॉजिस्ट है, वो भी चाइना के जियोलॉजिस्ट और मेट्रोलॉजिस्ट से बातचीत कर रहे हैं, जो एक्चुअल कारण वहां पर किया हुआ है। और एक बात नोटिस में क्या आया हुआ है कि जो ग्लेशियर था वो अभी भी पूर्ण रूप से फटा नहीं हुआ है, तो उसका फिर से फटने का चांस और भी है, जोखिम और भी है, और बाढ़ आने का संभावना और भी है। तो ये होगा नहीं होगा, कैसे होगा, कब होगा, कुछ भी नहीं इसमें बता सकते हैं।
तो इवैक्यूएशन में लोगों को वहां से निकालने में भी काफी दिक्कतें आ रही होंगी। Okay, we seem to have lost that network. I think he has lost that network with Nimesh Chaji, who is in Nepal. We'll just try and reconnect there. But Mr. Tripathi, well, this is, the journalist from Nepal was telling us that it could be a glacier that has caused this flash flood. Nepalese Foreign Minister, Mr. Tripathi, the Nepalese Foreign Minister earlier had cited reports by local media an earthquake could have triggered this avalanche, but clearly we see that it's very, very challenging, the situation, even if there was no heavy rainfall, with the fact that evacuation becomes very different, and even the hunt for those who are missing, which is in hundreds.
Actually, there was no rainfall in Nepal. This flood came from the Tibet side, China side. There are several possibilities. Even there is no report that there was a heavy rainfall in Tibet or China. So the one possibility that there is a blast of glaciers. So which resulted into this kind of humanitarian catastrophe, human death and destruction of property. So there has to be some joint study is required at this point. What was the causes? So, and how we can avoid this kind of situation in the future? What kind of preparedness is required? What kind of how to build early warning system? Because there was no any early warnings. So it happens suddenly. So nobody was prepared. Otherwise, several lives had been saved, but there was no such early warning system. It was not predicted that this kind of situation is going to happen. This kind of massive flood is going to happen, and the Hotekoshi is going to be flooded by the blast of glacier or whatever. So it's really it's a difficult situation. So I think there has to be, China, Nepal, India. There has to be some kind of, joint study team or something like that need at the hour, because this kind of situation, it is also going to affect India also. If there is a heavy flood in Nepal, it is also going to into the Indian rivers and China also. So how in the future we can avoid this kind of situation? How there is a foolproof, security mechanism, so you can, the lives of the population can be saved. And because there is a human settlement is exactly in the bank of the rivers, so there is a rethinking need to be done, so that this kind of human settlement the human settlement need to be relocated in the safe places, in the high altitude rather than rather than the river bank. So there has to be a comprehensive review of the situation, and for the future, what kind of preparedness can be made, and within the Department of State, even in the army, in the police, armed police, there has to be some specialized unit to deal with this kind of situation. It also need to be set up.
All right. Mr. Tripathi, appreciate you joining us on Republic TV at this moment and sharing us this information on the situation, the devastating floods in Nepal. As we closely track the situation, viewers will step into a very, very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे वो जो पेंट्स रंग बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे रंग 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 रंगीन रे रंग 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 बना रहे वो जो पेंट्स रंग बना रहे
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट
क्या बात है स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
ايش عملتي يا حبيبتي؟ ما عملتيش شيء يا حبيبتي.
هاي باص مكانها
واحد يقول لك ثاني يا اولاد الشمس رموا 4 صواريخ وهذا الدمار كله بسبب الصواريخ هذول.
ايش صار في النازحين والخيم؟
النازحين وممتلكات، هي ممتلكات وهانة ونازحين للاسف كلهم تدمروا. للاسف الحين هم بلا مأوى. هم هالوقت بلا مكان يروحوا يقعدوا له. هم الحين بفكروا كيف يستقروا، كيف يروحوا لمكان آمن ثاني او كيف يستقروا في هذا المكان. بدنا نعيش بامان، بدنا نعيش بحياتنا. بدنا نحس هاي بيت شايفين كيف؟ هاي هذا البيت تدمر واحنا واقفين وبنتكلم بسبب القصف اللي كان قبل شويه.
بين الطفل بتاكل